And as I always say, boom, there it is, that red light that I like to see, Melanie, that we are live. So I'm going to do my little intro and we're going to let everybody introduce themselves. Hello, everyone. I am Paul Wizzo, and welcome to Wizzo Talk. Whether you catching it live or you catching a replay, remember that it's absolutely free, 100% free. Like, share, and subscribe. I appreciate your support. If you'd like to subscribe to Wizzo Talk, the link is in the description, or it is strolling across the bottom of the screen. Just make sure you hit that that notification bell, because I post to my guest availability rather than a fixed schedule. So we don't want you to miss out on it. So make sure you hit that notification bell. You'd like to be a guest on Wizzo Talk? Hit me up in the comments, send me a message, carrier pigeon, or whatever you got to do to get me the message, and we will get you on the show. Don't worry about a topic, because I keep plenty of them. Those are your announcements. Take due notice thereof and govern yourselves accordingly. Let's meet our guests. Come on with it, Seven.
Yo, this your boy 7 Points of Bliss, aka the Pomegranate Samurai, man. Hey, I want to say it's an honor to be here yet again. And also, if y'all want to check me out, Google After Real Truth, all one word. You can check out some of my art, buy some of my gear. You can catch me on Spotify on the Cosmic Currency 777. And man, like I said, it's an honor to be here, man. I want to show love to PM Podcast, man. Much love to you, brother. And check Wizzo Talk out on Spotify as well, man. Grab some Wizzo Talk gear too.
Yeah, no doubt. I always keep forgetting sometimes to talk about my merch. So I even got stuff for your dogs and cats and shit. So Kelly said one time, you got shit for dogs? I said, hell yeah, I see it. Anyway, let's go up here and meet that playbook there, Kelly.
Yeah, I'm Prescott Kelly of the Playbook Podcast. We've now kind of folded into the Sports Avengers, which is the name of the Facebook group. But the Playbook Podcast you can find anywhere you actually find audio podcasts, wherever you like. I'm super nervous now because you guys have merch and I ain't got merch. Let's pass it along, man. Yo, you're gonna be tripping off the jump. I already this up.
Hey, it's all good. It's all good. All right, let's come over here to Rico. What you got, Rico?
Oh, I want to thank Wizzo for inviting me back once again. Y'all know it's Rico from the podcast. If relationships can talk, you can find me at Riding with Rico on all the major channels. And you can also check out my new cartoon on Disney Plus called The Tangerine Ninja.
So
God damn.
I want to call bullshit, but that might be real. Like
that was an inside joke. That's all.
Already. Come on there, JP. What you got, Jason?
We can't hear you.
We can't hear you, Jason.
Oh,
we just heard you a while ago.
What'd you say, Wizzo, a while ago?
I wonder if he muted his soundboard like I've done before him, because I look like an idiot. I've done that so many times on lives on other people's shows, and I've muted myself, and it's not a good look.
Hey, all y'all out there listening, don't worry. That deep, smooth voice about to come right through the microphone.
Oh, yeah. It looked like he could hear us.
hello, good people.
It deserves some voice acting opportunities for sure.
Don't it?
All right. Well, while he going in, I'm gonna come to Chocolate.
There you go.
Oh.
Okay, I'm just making sure y'all got me. I don't know what happened, man. I can say I'm just happy to have the opportunity to be on anytime I can, talk about anything we can, and see what I can do to contribute to the conversation. I appreciate it.
All right, that's what's up. All right there. Come on, Chocolate Buddha, what you got?
Hey, it's your All-American, your favorite All-American, not with the smooth voice like Jason there, but you can hear me. You hear what I'm talking about. It's Chocolate Buddha, here to say hello to everybody. Happy to be here with all the brothers. And as usual, Wizzo Talk is, man, you doing something for the world right here, brother. I'm just happy to be here, share this good conversation, and educate some people. So let's do it. Let's get in it.
All right, brother. That's what I'm talking about. So for the people that's watching now, or maybe y'all watching later, y'all already know how we do it on Wizzo Talk. I'm gonna start off with a little something, but get your popcorn ready, because shit, we serve to be in 9 different other places. So I ask my guests to take a note, and we can always kick it in reverse to go back and cover whatever it is you need to cover. And this right here is a good topic. I sent out a all points bulletin asking for people to come on to the show, and you guys hit me up, so I appreciate it. But we're talking about racism. You know, is it something that's in the bloodline? Is it something that's taught? I mean, where does it come about? So this is my thing right here. I mean, we all play together as kids. And let me, before I go off into it, for the viewers that's watching right now, if y'all like to put something in the chat, please, by all means, put it in the share it with us in the chat, and I'll put it up on the screen as often as I can, and we'll try to just address it if we get to it. So put any of your questions in the chat. We'll appreciate it. So you have people, kids of all color. You have little black kids, white kids, Hispanic kids in kindergarten playing together. They're in pre-K, all that playing together. They don't see any type of color. So I'm just trying to put it out there to you guys, just ask y'all while we talk about racism. At what point do they start seeing color? Is it something that's in their bloodline? Because I'll be playing with, a guy or kid, from 7th grade, 8th grade, and then later on I may see him years down the line, and here he is, just as racist as all outdoors. I'm a little country, so I'm just asking you guys to get started. They playing together at school. When do they start seeing color? And at what point do we talk about? I mean, is there something about the racism? Is it taught? Is it inherited? Is it in the bloodline? So meaning that they're gonna be that way no matter what you playing with them in the 9th grade or not. So to get this started, first I'm gonna come up here and Chocolate Buddha, and then after that, guys, we'll just work the room and see how it goes. Chocolate Buddha, what are your thoughts? And you can hit on any of that you like or add to it.
Well, my thoughts are going to be based on my experience. When I was growing up in Chicago, I thought it was just something that they were born with. Growing up on the south side of Chicago, I didn't have any whites to bounce it off of. So what I was told was that that's how they were born, that's how they're going to be. But when I moved down to Thibodaux, Louisiana, I found out quite differently that it is something that's not only taught, but it has to be reinforced for it to take hold. So I moved down to Louisiana in 1978, and the kids that I was hanging out with,
1978 is wild.
my daughter let me know that I'm from the 1900s. I wanted to slap the shit out of her, but she was right. But I moved, and I'm proud of that. I moved down there, and everything that I was taught, some of the stuff was true, but a lot of the stuff, it was based on curiosity. And so I made a lot of friends that I'm still friends with today. And a lot of those kids, they had to be taught that they're not supposed to like me. Some of the kids broke away from it, and they was like, I don't care what my parents say, or if he's a weird black name, and I like him, and we're going to be friends to the end. And other kids, like you said, around that high school age, they were just like, hey, man, I know we were cool then, but we just can't break bread like we used to. I'm not going to say anything bad about you, but we just can't be seen hanging around each other. And we went our separate ways. So I firmly believe that it's something that has to be taught and I say reinforced because I've seen kids, especially in the military, that were grown, that were taught to be racist, grew up racist, but when they got around people like us, and it wasn't reinforced, the next thing you knew, they were questioning how they were brought up, and then they did a 180. So I firmly believe that it's something that has to be taught, but the only way it can stick is that it's reinforced.
All right, that's what's up. Kelly, what you got on that?
Well, he mentioned something about the military, and that's one of the portions of my talking points that I was kind of prepared for is my dad served in the military for over 20 years, and my mom's dad did too, and my dad's dad as well. And I know we're kind of getting a little bit off topic, but the Colin Kaepernick thing always gets brought into conversation when we talk about military versus police brutality and everything like that. So me as somebody who is brought up in that military background and how much my dad, like I remember when I was a kid, as a teenager, we went to a hockey game and I was like 12 and there were kids being loud and talking during the national anthem. And he was irate about it. Like he took it to a next level of don't disrespect this country. So when the Colin Kaepernick stuff started happening, my initial reaction was, come on, man, like, what are we doing here? And then once you found out what the actual business was about it, I thought, okay, well, I'm allowed to change my mind because I have new information about what's going on. And it has nothing to do with the fact that I feel like my parents were on this different scale of prejudice. It's like he put the flag above everybody. But when you talk about military people and what went down that Kaepernick era, there's a lot of back and forth of what actually matters in this country. So for me, my initial reaction was, oh, he shouldn't be doing that because he's disrespecting the flag. But then we realized, oh, it's about police brutality. It's like, no, everybody's hijacking this conversation and making it about something other than what it actually is. So you can learn from what's happening in real time and change your mind based off actual information in front of you. And that was my initial reaction based off of what Chakabuda just said. Is like, the military does kind of make you, if you're in that background, it makes you think I should put one thing above the other. But it's also when you have new information in front of you, you're allowed to change your mind. You don't have to be so strident in America above everything else. But what I noticed is like Alaska, and I've said this on my podcast multiple times, is Alaska, it feels like is Arctic Texas. There's so many Trump flags flying around and all this other weird that it's like they're not even willing to have the conversation of even listening about outside information. So when Chakabuda said that, that's where my eyes went that way. And I feel like that's why you called on me, Paul, is because like I had an immediate initial reaction with the military because of the military stuff with Kaepernick kneeling, and then there being this juxtaposition of what makes you an American and what makes you not. And it was really frustrating, the fact that people were just willing to dumb it down to, if you kneel for the anthem, you're a bad person, and there wasn't any other conversation to be had, basically.
Okay, let's see what Rico got. We're gonna hear Rico 7 and then Jason.
I want to piggyback off of some Prescott Kelly just said. I totally believe that it is taught because a child's mind is a sponge. And then go back to what 7 said. I think you were the one that said it's reinforced. Who said that? Someone said it's taught and reinforced. Chocolate Buddha said it. And when I say it's reinforced, of course, to me, it's reinforced because they tell them, hold on, I'm going to say this. If racism disappears, so do white people, because they have what's called a recessive gene. We have a dominant gene. If they don't keep racism going or try to go back to segregation just like it is, because the fact of the matter is, anytime Kelly's race has a child with someone outside their race, the baby's going to look like the other race. I do a lot of reading on these things like that. It's called genetic annihilation. Although I don't approve of what they're doing, I believe it's driven because they see their extinction and the fear of, once we become a minority, that what they have done to everyone else will be done to them or their descendants. But I believe that it's mainly driven by that and reinforced and taught. But do y'all know that in the last 15 years, racism done cost the U.S. $18 trillion. $18 trillion. That's what, about half or over half of the deficit right now. You go back 50, it's like 40 something trillion. So America was built off racism, and they're going to keep teaching it. And right now they're trying to roll it back, because I truly believe that they don't plan on ever leaving. You won't make changes like this if you don't ever plan on leaving a white man in charge in this country forever.
All right. That's enough. You took one of my questions I was going to ask is America built on racism, and you just answered it. So now I got to delete that shit. Shit. That's all right. 7, what you got, 7?
Well, I honestly believe that racism doesn't have to be taught, but this is the thing, man. If America is based on a certain type of white privilege, right? the reason why you don't never have to teach a pale skinned child about racism is because they're gonna get that privilege regardless. You know, some people are blind to it, but some people actually know they have it. Some people actually try to use it to help other people. You know what I mean? And it's crazy because bro, I be on like this little Meta Quest, the little VR, and the most racist people I run into are little white kids, bro. It's so nuts, bro. The adults be tweaking sometimes, but the kids be hitting me with the hard ER more than anybody, bro. And that shit blows my mind. Cause I be sitting here, they be calling me a monkey and shit, and I just be thinking, do people not know anything about genetics, right? Because when you actually study genetics, right, monkeys get lice. White people get lice. Black people don't get lice, bro. This not this like you have to go deeper into the shit that actually people don't understand. The only Neanderthal gene you find is in pale skinned people. The Europeans have told you this, right? Nobody pays attention to genetics. When my man said that the other races are pretty much scared when it comes to being mated out, right? You got to look at what white people have tried to do throughout history. They've tried to make other races out, but they can't because if you take a drop of green and you drop it in white paint, what happens to the white paint?
It
You
turned
feel
green.
me? You can't just wash everything away like that. And a lot of people really are only suffering from a type of ignorance because our enemies write our books. You know what I mean? So when you
Yeah.
start to really dive through that and you start to understand our enemies write our books, our enemies write our medicine, they teach our schools, they police our communities, they run the country. You know what I mean? And I'm not just talking about Trump. Obama too. It's anybody who working with the government. The government is the enemy, bro, because they not trying to do anything. People don't understand it. Okay, so listen, if the government isn't the enemy, why the fuck they just not trying to ban food dyes that they know is motherfucking giving motherfuckers autism and all this other type of shit? The government been the enemy. Who runs the government? Black people don't run that shit. When I hear white people on the internet or on the MetaQuest and they be talking about some white people are superior culture, bro, all y'all motherfuckers did was make poison and destroy the planet. The planet has been worse off since pale skinned people have been running this bitch, and nobody seems to even think about that at all. Like, bro, you can look back throughout history and see how many brown skinned civilizations have led the world into golden ages, bro. Literally. You know what I mean? Like Rome, bro, Italy. Like, nobody ever talks about any of this, which is crazy because people don't know. It's been written out of the books, and this is what leads people to not have the information to understand the truth. And that's why I feel like you can teach this shit, but you really don't have to, because the way the world moves, it's gonna inherently be anyway. Now I do know some pale skinned people who cool as fuck. They got soul, dog. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like a black motherfucker was born in a different skin, bro. You know what I mean? But that only happens when people start to understand other people's situations. You know what I mean? When you got like a white kid who grew up in the hood right next to a black kid, bro, they know the struggle. Motherfuckers know what's going on. Yeah, they still gonna have some of that white privilege, but they understand more. You know what I mean? And for me, this to end this off with, I heard a person on the internet say the most dangerous animal on the planet was a white woman. And I'm gonna tell you, man, the most dangerous weapon on the planet is a white woman's tears, bro. Shit's crazy.
Before you go, Jason, I'm going to say this right here. We covered that one time. Jason brought to our attention. Then I started seeing it on TV, and Seven said it also about the food that here in the U.S. that they don't allow over in other countries. But I want to just stay on a little bit on this racism topic. But I just want to point that out because I remember we covered that. All right, Jason, I saw you making notes, so give us that shit.
Man, man, I'm not gonna go through everything I made notes on. I was just trying to keep up for myself because I got, I can go long-winded, so I'm not gonna get into all my notes. But I'm gonna stay as close as I can to your question, which is the racism taught or inherited, and racism is 100% taught, but it's not a black and white question. as far as just, it was taught, meaning Brother Prescott wasn't sitting down at his dinner table learning lessons on racism from his parents. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's not what I mean when I say taught, because there are people in a small percentage of the world that are taught racism that way. The issue is that America, being the systemic racism structure that it is and that it was built on, what you have is, from birth, really from about 3 months to 6 months, a newborn infant can distinguish skin tones and colors. They don't know what the difference is, but they know that that's different than what they see in different people. As you get into that age group of about 3 years old to 8 years old, the split starts to happen, where the Black family, because of the byproducts of what this country is built on, have to sit down with their children and explain racism and explain how you can move safely and how what you can and cannot do, what you can and cannot say. So we early on get these verbal conversations and communication from those that love us and that are guiding us through life, that explain to us what racism is, how to navigate it, how not to be that way in particular. That, let's be honest, if most of us are, that you got to be careful of these white people. They're going to do this, they're going to do that to you. All the lessons and experiences and learned behavior that our parents and whoever raises us have encountered, they're going to sit down and go through that with us on a verbal level. They gonna also, most of the time, teach us to love everybody else, be equal, be loving, and all this other good stuff, right? What happens is, because of the lack of acknowledgement or the ignorance of the fact that the white privilege exists before, let's call it what it is, maybe the last 15, 20 years, that's been a hot buzz topic, right? Is to say, right, white privilege. Before that was a household word and a household phrase, most white people, like Brother Prescott, may not even realized, and I'm just using you, brother, because you the white dude on here, not because I'm picking on you like
I'm
that,
here.
right?
I got you.
Yeah. All right. Appreciate it. So he wasn't, because he wasn't sat down and had this conversation in my example, hypothetically, I don't know his real story, right? But I'm saying the majority of white people, they don't have a conversation because it's not necessary, because they can move freely about the cabin, because they don't experience the same levels of racism that we have to interact with early on. Well, now all that's left to them is to see and to be taught by their own experiences as they move through the world, meaning they start to see who comes and mows the yard. They start to see who comes and cleans the house. They start to see who's important and how certain people are spoken to versus how other people are spoken to. When the little white boy is holding daddy's hand in the grocery store and he sees Mr. Charles from down the street, and daddy stops and gives him a very polite conversation, and they shake hands and they go their different ways, and the two white men that live in the same neighborhood, they're neighbors. And then he see Mr. Paul that live down the street, and he just say, "How you been, Paul?" and keep walking. Then he's learned at that point who's important in his father's life and who's not. As this continues to happen, now he associates the difference between all the people that are not important or that are not as engaged with in his life, if any, are going to be people of color. And so now at 12 or 13, when he has, let's say, one bad experience, he snaps the football and he looking up at the sky, right? And it was a black dude standing over him. Well, now he starts developing these internalized thought processes. So it's not that he was sat down and taught racism. It's that everything that we have in this country that is systemic in racism is teaching kids, because, in my opinion, of that lack of the majority of white people who mean well, who can, in a lot of cases, consider themselves allies to black people and that plight, who don't understand that they are benefactors and don't understand that they have learned and been taught racism by not having those conversations. And I personally, as recently as last week, implore white people who have people in their lives that think differently, that look just like them, whether it's family, spouse, children, whoever can comprehend. I don't want you to embarrass them. I want you to have a behind the closed door conversation with them so that they start to understand what you understand. And now they're going to move differently around me. I don't need you to embarrass them. I don't need you to, point them out. I don't need you to blast them on the internet. I need you to get in the room and sit down with them, because until white people take some ownness in the issue and acknowledgement in the fact that we all, black, white, yellow, green, we all are living this way, and that we have dealt with at this point is astronomically off the charts, that anything that we call normal in a Eurocentric world, I'm not even just talking about America, but in the world, anything that we consider normal is white. Anything that's not normal is definitely not white. If you go to work, how many jobs will white collar brothers and sisters go to that they can't wear their locks? They got to go get a haircut because they got the job, right? That's not it's not normal that you can't just wear your hair the way you choose to wear your hair. That's culturally acceptable and nice, and you're gonna get compliments everywhere you go, but then you're gonna lose your job. That's not normal. It's not normal for you to just say, I got to wear this suit and tie. What if you want to wear some kente to work? That's real important to us, right? Like, what if these sisters, instead of buying wigs and looking for that Eurocentric look, what if they want to wear head wraps every day? That's culturally acceptable to us. But if they try to pull that off, half of them, if not more, going to lose their jobs, because what's considered white in this country is considered normal. And the problem is that the white people that do know better won't do better. And until they do, it don't matter what the rest of us say.
Got you covered. Let's see. Chocolate Buddha, you got any comeback with it?
No, as usual, man. Jason's on point for the nation. What I will add on that, and y'all all know me, the ones that do that, I'm all American, and I'm definitely pro government and pro American. But the truth is the truth. America was built on racism. America moves in the European angle. What's right is white, and what's wrong is usually not white. But here is what I'm seeing, and this is what's giving me hope. There's a lot of people out there that's non-black that's opening their eyes and saying, "Hey, what I've been taught and what I've been experiencing in life is not right." And I'm not just going to sit here and just accept it and say, okay, oh, well, I'm just glad I wasn't born black. They're actually sitting back and making these little changes. And I think this is why people that are like pro-Trump and the people that's out there trying their best to erase history and stuff are in such outrage right now, because behind the scenes, there's a lot of people uh, that's sick and tired of, the privilege just going by without people saying anything. And just like uh, Jason said earlier, the thing is not busting people out, trying to shine for us. It's taking them to the side and say, hey, you know what? This shit ain't right. We need to do better. Not just to do better because we're American. Let's do better because we're good humans. That shit ain't right telling them they got to cut their hair. That shit ain't right telling them they can't wear clothes because it's to what we were told our standards are. Why they can't come and do a good job because they're great workers? Why can't we just look at them as excellent human beings instead of trying to put them in this definition that was passed down to us, that was passed down to them? When are we going to let go of this shit? And I'm here to tell you, one of the things that I've been looking at that's not really making the news, there's a lot of John Browns out there. And if anybody's familiar with John Brown and Harper's Ferry, it's a dangerous thing out there for them to exist, but they're out there. And I'm not saying that they need to come out here and pop off like John Brown did, but there's a lot of people out there that's not being quiet about what's going on in America with this privilege thing. And people are just getting sick and tired of being sick and tired. What I would like to see is that people start not just holding each other accountable, but actually start trying to move together as we the people. And when I say we the people, again, I'm looking at America the way it should be, not the way it was intended. Because again, as much as I love America, I'm American enough to admit that America was built for privileged white men. And when I say white men, I don't mean white women, I mean white men. If you look at the Constitution, but the Constitution was growing and growing with the country to say, hey, look, we made some mistakes, but we're able to grow past that. And as we, the people, come together, we can move to make things better. And I believe that we're doing the right thing, moving together, and we need to keep that momentum going. So that's what I'm looking at. That's what I'm doing.
That's what's
And I
up.
yield.
Oh, my bad.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna come to you, Rico. Let me see what
Okay.
Kelly got. Kelly, you got anything on that?
Oh, it's mostly I agree with most of what's being said. It really is the country was backed on white people that look like me. And it's not I wasn't expecting you to call me. I'm the guy in the back. I'm the guy in the back. This is like kind of how because
Hey, you want me to go first?
because I thought you were going to Rico because it was like he hasn't talked. He was the first person to talk last. I had time to kind of get
I'll
my
be
thoughts
mixing it
together.
up.
Yeah.
Oh, it's my turn?
No, you want me to go on and talk?
I was hoping it was you because I was listening.
Look, he
I
done
was like,
turned red in the face and everything.
I'll put Rico up.
Hey, look, for me, man, it go back to something Jason said and that we all knew. And Orvie said it, the chocolate Buddha 7. It's all systemic racism. But see, the reality that we live in, it's not the reality that they live in for themselves. And I want to say this again, for anyone think I'm a racist, I'm only talking about those people that hate me because of the color of my skin. If you're a person that's willing to sit down, that's like Orvie, and learn about different customs and traditions, that's cool. I'm not talking to you, and you shouldn't be offended. But what really, really upsets me, and I'm gonna get a little personal with something because I've just experienced some racism here within the last 2 weeks. But one thing that really, really, really gets me is when I see a black person say systemic racism doesn't exist. That infuriates me. And then I'm gonna tell you why. In this hometown that I'm in, they just had an election, and the mayor, the chief of police are
I
married.
saw that. I'm from Texas originally. I saw that. That is some wild stuff,
It is.
dude.
They are monopolizing the city government, and she basically got her whole family and best friends on city council, so they can do whatever it is they want to do. But we won, and now it's a big issue because now it's a black man on the city council. But on top of that, what makes me even angrier with some of those racists is my grandparents raised me. They raised all 7 of their grandparents' kids. I used to wonder why my grandmother and my grandfather would say yes, sir, no, ma'am, and all that to people who were younger than them. And then as I got older, I realized why. Lastly, I have a grandmother that's in the hospital currently now. And of course, she has fluid on her because she's 86 years old. But I know that the only way you get a lot of fluid on you is your heart is not beating right. They told my uncles that it was nothing else they could do. And when my grandmother told me, no, I got this fluid and blah, blah, blah. Man, I walked outside. I done a little reading for myself, called my wife because, hey, she's a doctor too. And then I went down and I told them, look, you got about 30 minutes. If you don't start draining that fluid out my wife with either a catheter or a syringe, I'm going to sue you personally. And I'm going to sue this hospital. And then I'm about to go down here to admin. I'm about to tell your bosses the same damn thing. Within 2 days, my grandmother was so well, they moved her to a physical therapy place, and it chokes me up because it angers me.
Yeah.
How many other black people died because people didn't speak up for them?
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. Let's I'm gonna go on here with 7 and Kelly. I'm gonna come to you next.
I'm sorry,
I appreciate you giving me the 2-minute warning because I wasn't ready last time.
7, what's up?
Just to Rico, man, I'm happy you got that taken care of for your people, man. I don't even know why we trust our enemies to take care of us in the first place. Our genetics are not the same, bro. Like the type of medicine that they tell you got to take, right? You black people typically have to take either more or less of it. I was actually watching the video when they were saying that the COVID vaccine, it's only made for pale skinned people, and the rations that they give it's certain medicines too. Like black people, we need 2 times as much as vitamin D. I think we need 3 times as much as vitamin C. But also, people don't pay attention that when they're doing these medicine experimentations, they're doing them on albinoid rats. So you really gotta pay attention to the science and what they're doing, bro. Like genetics matters when it comes to these things, right? Because our bodies are composed a little bit differently, man. It's not a big difference, but it's significant enough as to where we need to be paying attention to what we're putting in our bodies when we have pale skin doctors telling us certain things. It's to the point now where if something on TV or I read something that says doctor approved, I don't even fuck with it, man. Because back in the day, motherfuckers told us that what was that shit? Fluoride. Motherfuckers like, man, fluoride good as fuck for your health. And now motherfuckers showing up brain damage and autism and all this other type of fucked up shit.
In
And it's
2022,
like,
they were telling us to eat Tide Pods.
come on, man. And that's the thing. Like, we really got to start thinking for ourselves, man. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of the diseases and stuff that black people have now, we didn't have back in the days. And we walked outside with our shoes and shit off. When you start to understand the power, when you start to understand that walking around with your shoes off, your feet have the largest pores on your body. They release the most toxins. So if your feet really stink, you need to be walking outside with your shoes off so you can release those toxins somewhere, man. Because shoes ain't getting it. But like Jason was saying about the workplace, bro, I've experienced a decent little amount of prejudice here from my own people. At work, I used to walk around with a head wrap, you know what I'm saying, as a Moor, you know what I'm saying. We wrapped our head with cloths and stuff like that. And the GM of the company I work for, he told me I had 5 minutes to take it off or I can go home for the day. And I told him, you know, that was my practice. And he told me that he never seen me praying to the east. I'm like, bro, when you gonna see me praying, bro? We're not even around me all day. You doing your own. You know what I'm saying? And I really could have took that to HR, but I just left that alone, bro. That could have been a nice little settlement for me, man. But my supervisor convinced me not to even motherfucking speak on that shit. So I really be chill. But the thing is, man, when it comes to the prejudice and racism, it's not even just pale skinned people, it's our own people who have been indoctrinated by the people that they look up to. And it goes so deep as to where even with these tariffs, right? Black people are so hurt that they can't get name brand clothes. But why is that? Why do you want to wear people's names on your back who would have beaten you 100 years ago, or not even 100 years ago? You know what I'm saying? It took Tommy Hilfiger to say his clothes wasn't even for black people to stop fucking with. But that's everybody. Gucci, Versace, all of them. None of them motherfuckers really want black people wearing it, but they love the black dollars.
They learned from Tommy's mistake.
Yeah. And it's really crazy that our people are like that. But also, I was watching a documentary, and it was saying the reason why black people are like that is because we don't like to be told what we can't have. So I guess back in the day, we were told that we couldn't have these luxury materials, right? Because it was not for us, and we tried to prove them wrong by spending our money with them and making them richer, which is the weirdest shit ever, because now we don't even have anything of our own. And when black people do produce anything, other black people don't want to support it because for some odd reason we think it's lower quality. When Black Wall Street was a thing, right? We had the best quality every fucking thing. That's why they burnt that bitch down. They don't want us to have nothing better. And that's why I was telling y'all on the last podcast, they would never segregate us again, because the type of shit that we would be able to do now as opposed to then, we would have utopia. They don't think that we would, but I guarantee you, we had our own police system and all that other stuff. We had our own communities. We'd be policing that bitch right if we didn't have no other influences, bro. People don't.
I would say split America down the middle. Put us over here and them over there.
Like, honestly, people don't see it because of how it is now. But everything that our youth is going through, destroying our communities, shooting up and shit, you have to understand who's pushing that propaganda through the music. You got these Jews doing this shit. You know what I'm saying? Everybody is pushing everybody's pushing a negative image of our people. And it's really.
I may have lost it.
The same people that own the record companies own the prisons, the private prisons.
Let me come right here before I go to Prescott and before I go to Kelly. And just want to thank everyone that's watching right now. Whether you're watching now, you catch the replay. Make sure you hit that subscribe, hit that notification bell, and I appreciate your support wholeheartedly. We're gonna let Mr. Kelly go ahead and go, but before I do that, Seven said something about vitamin D, and my fiance came home and told me that the doctor said she needs some more vitamin D. I was like, yeah, we gonna get that D. Oh, anyway, let me come over to Mr. Kelly. What you got, Kelly?
No, so I know the original talking point was whether, and we went off on a lot of different tangents, and I'm totally good with all of that because that's largely what I do. What is it? Is it taught or is it inherited? I think that is more of a taught process more than like you just in like it's in your DNA. I recognize and I mentioned my process of the Colin Kaepernick situation. We went through that earlier. On top of the fact of we have no idea if you're going to have high blood pressure. We have no idea if you're going to be gay. We have no idea if you're going to be an alcoholic. We have no idea, like whatever comes through your body and how you are in your form, we don't know. So having it be a constant conversation, or not a constant conversation, but being a conversation of you're either born with it or it's in your upbringing. I think it's an upbringing thing because I know for me personally, a personal story, my parents don't drink at all. Never have, never will, and they're 70 years old. I do. You have no idea if your kid is going to have a alcoholic condition or a drug condition or high blood pressure. It's all kind of a crapshoot, just kind of like the drafts when it comes to, because I run a sports podcast. So I run it basically the exact same way, is that you can be born into the worst position ever, right? You're the number one overall pick, which looks awesome, but you're going to a terrible team. Are you able to build yourself up and get out of that situation, or are you going to stay in that same terrible situation going forward? There are some people who grow up in alcoholic houses and then never want to touch it again because they've seen what it does to the mom or the dad or their siblings, and they never want to touch it again, or it makes it worse. To me, this is something where, is it inherently in your DNA? There are probably some statistics where on certain people it is. But for me personally, I know that for me, I know that I've had, it's been preached a couple different times through this episode, and I acknowledge it, a pretty legitimately sheltered life. I get it. I'm not shying away from it, but my best friend is, it always sounds weird. It's like my best friend's black, but he is, and he's somebody who, like, I've never witnessed more racism than when Obama was first elected. And when him and I were at the bar at the exact same time, and people talking to him the way that they were at that point in time, I don't know, man. Like, I basically said that Alaska is basically Arctic Texas. It's just the population is so much smaller. Like, there's less black people up here. There's less people up in Alaska. Even Alaska's the biggest state in the country, but the population is so slim. You can basically have more people in Rhode Island than you can in Alaska. So my personal experience has not been the same, but the people who are so dear in my life are people who have experienced this crazy race. I don't know, man. It's crazy because I don't have a whole lot of experience outside of here because I moved up into Alaska when I was 13. So my experience with how many black people I encounter is not very much, but the people who I actually care about, I have a great deep relationship with them. So I don't think that it's necessarily all the time. Could it be inherited? Sure. But again, when it comes to like the smoking and the drinking and the drugs and heart conditions, it's not always going to be embedded in you as a person on the next generation that you create necessarily. And I know that I kind of went off on a tangent, but man, like, my best friend is my best friend. He's my best friend for like 22 years. And I didn't have a whole lot of black friends growing up. I wasn't raised in a black dominant part of the country, but he's my best friend. He always will be. So I don't think it's always necessarily, could it be? Sure. Do I think it is all the time? No, I think it's largely who's around you? Are your parents bad people? Is your environment bad people? And trying to pin one, it's all circumstance. It's like being in the NFL draft. Again, like you can be the number one overall draft and you have the worst supporting cast ever. And maybe you're great enough to elevate those guys. And maybe you're just somebody who got drafted into a bad situation and it's all just going to be dog shit no matter what. But I've seen a lot of people, especially in my predicament, because again, white families, and have another kid, and their kid's a complete piece of shit. It's kind of a crapshoot. And I know I went on a tangent, but that's my thing, is that I don't feel like it's necessarily 100% inherited. I think it's more of your environment. Again, Alaska's basically Arctic Texas. I see Trump flags flying around all the damn time, and it irritates the hell out of me, and I can't stand it. But that's where I'm at. So,
all right,
I'll leave it at that.
I'm gonna say this right here, and then we're gonna come to I'm gonna come to Jason. Guys, y'all know we really don't have any particular order. I'm just kind of, putting people on the big screen. So by all means, if you'd like to kind of go next with, I just throw you on up there or whatever. So like I did Kelly earlier. But guys, and most of you guys kind of know, and for the viewers that's watching now, whenever I throw the topic up there talking about is this racism something inherited or whatever, we're going to touch on a whole pot of gumbo, so it won't just stay right on there, but it'll all tie in later. So by all means, just take a note down and then come back when you're on the center stage. Shit, let that shit rip. And I'm going to thank all of the viewers that's watching right now. We appreciate y'all tapping in. And I'm going to throw this question out here. You guys can take a note, but Jason, once you get here, you can either address some of it or you can go on into the notes that you've taken. So I was working at Wally World part-time, and an old white guy come in there and told me, I don't even know how we got on race, but he told me, he said, racism don't exist in the military. He said, when that soldier's on the side of you, all you care about is if he got your back or not. So then I talked to my fiance, to her dad, and I asked him about that. He's a Vietnam veteran. And he told me that's bullshit, but he didn't say bullshit, but that's what he meant. He said it's off in there 100 miles an hour. So, Aubrey, I saw you shaking your head, so that's what I'm putting out there. Just ask you guys, does it exist in the military? But I'm gonna come to Jason, and then we're gonna go on and work for whoever want to come up next after that.
I'm trying to.
Say something, Jason.
He wants to fight me through the internet so bad right now.
I don't want to fight you, bro. I don't want to fight you, but I disagree with a lot of the shit you said. But it
I live in
Alaska,
bro. My experience is different than yours. That's what I'm trying to say.
Hold on. I got that. I'm with you on that. And I can agree and I can accept that. But my disagreement started, a little bit, with everybody else too. It's not just you. I'm not picking on you, right? But you said a lot, right? I'm extremely leery of people who are non-Black people who take the ally road. And the reason that I am is because, to me, being an ally of mine is a verb, right? That takes action, because I'll put myself in a hypothetical situation and say that if I have a friend or a family member who is homosexual and I tell them that I support them, and then when I see any kind of injustice coming against the LGBTQ community, I don't do anything, I don't take any action that causes myself negative backlash or response in order to support them. You see, how can I tell you that I'm walking with you through this tough time in your life if you're getting hit in the back of the head with a bottle and I just suspiciously get missed every time, right? Like, I'm not walking with you. I can be your moral support and I can talk you through it, and I can big up you and I can help you, understand that you're in my hearts and prayers, right? My thoughts and prayers.
That's the worst thing ever.
But it's the worst thing when we say it, right? Like we know that it's the worst thing when we say it. But the reality is, if we get ugly with one another and we start calling things what they really are, most of what you just said was thoughts and prayers, bro. Like your best friend being black has no bearing on you're experiencing what he's experiencing when he
Yeah, I'm
was
not black.
experiencing. Hold on. When he was experiencing that racism, did you and him beat some
I was
ass,
there
or did
with
y'all
him.
get? Hold on, did y'all get your asses kicked together? Did you fight for him
No,
when that happened?
neither one of us.
If,
Neither.
hold
No,
on,
neither
let me
one of
finish,
us.
bro. Hold on,
I'll let you
hold
go,
on.
Scott. I'll let you go after he finishes.
Hold on. And that's my point is the words and the moral support are great, but the reality is if I'm experiencing that and my white friend who died on me at 38, he's white, we were best friends, he's 38, he died, he had cancer, he's gone. We've been back to back. We've been having a fight about it because he wasn't gonna take no shit like that with somebody saying or look. He would catch things that I wouldn't catch. He would catch things that I would be like, nah, I ain't worried about it. Let's just go. Hell no. He ready to rip the place up because he wanted to put his action behind the fact that he supported what he meant when he said, you my boy, and I ain't going through that shit. You ain't going through that shit while you're around me. You see what I'm saying? And so I'm not saying that you got to get violent. I'm not saying that you got to get beat up. I'm saying that if you don't have documented for you, not for anybody else, documented tangible things that you've done to support the words that you give, then it really don't boil down to shit for me. And I'm not attacking you. I'm telling you what I believe from the bottom of my heart.
Do you have
And that's not for you.
documentation of
That's
what
for,
you just said that you just did?
Hold up,
see
just
what I'm
a second.
saying?
No,
Let's
but
finish this.
what I'm saying is that
We gotta
Defense,
go
that's
one
not
at a time, y'all.
we're on a 15-minute podcast. We all can't tell each other's life stories all the goddamn
Go
time.
next. So let's let one. As soon as he finished, then Scott, I'm gonna put you up.
Hey, Wizard, where the gavel at, man?
I got the gavel right here, man. But
So what I'm saying
Put it
is,
out.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying that that question to you is in a rhetorical manner, meaning I don't need, like I said, document it for yourself. I'm not saying that you got to come out here and lay out for everybody what you're doing. What I'm saying is, if you don't have documented evidence to yourself to back up what you are saying, that you are living with these other people who don't look like you, then it don't mean shit. That's what I'm saying, and I'm standing behind that.
all right, come on, Scott.
All right, well, I do have documented representation because my best friend, again, look, man, I've already told you, man, this is not something where it needs to be like I stood up and fought somebody in a bar based on what happened. All I know is that there was a representation of somebody calling my best friend the N-word because Obama got elected, and I was in that bar and we had to go toe to toe with somebody. Did it come to a fight? No, and it probably did have to do with my whiteness. Do I like that? Do I agree with it? No. But what my point is that kind of irritated me to a bit is because I shouldn't have to, because we should all be able to do this thing on our own merits, right? We should all be able to, we shouldn't have to worry about all this bull when it comes to politics and everything like that. But I have a black friend. He's my best friend. And when Obama got elected, and when it was elected and it was pronounced all over television, he got everything in that bar, which is a predominantly white bar, which again, you guys don't know. Like, you're not here with me. And again, it's not a weird dynamic for me because I am the white guy. I get it. I understand that I have that privilege in that mindset. But he also doesn't care. He's a strong dude. He doesn't care. He doesn't care about anything whatsoever. But he's my best friend, and I had his back. So I don't have documentation, no. But it is what it is.
Again, I'm saying the documentation was a rhetorical question. I'm not saying you got to get up here and prove what you're saying. I'm saying you have to prove every day if you tell me you got my back on something, and I'm not even saying that it's got to come to violence or nothing like that. That was just using your example that you used as a bar fight, right? Or a bar situation is why I said that.
That's the situation that I was using, though. That's the situation that I had. But I have Keith's back every single damn day.
Okay, guys, we got to go one at a time. I mean, so everybody can hear everything that's being said. I know we get hyped and get to going. I got you, Rico. Let me make sure that Jason is finished, and then we're gonna go to Rico.
So yeah, like I was saying, I don't want you to focus on me saying documentation like you got to prove some kind of paperwork or show some type of receipts. I'm asking you to search within yourself. And if you cool with what you do for your friend, or if it's not personalized and it's not a friend because you feel the way you feel, whether it's your friend is the application or not, I would believe, because I think you're a good dude, right? So you feel the way you feel, whether it's your friend or not. I'm asking, can you search within yourself and show documentation that you've done things, actions that enhance that situation and not just empathize with that situation? That's all I'm asking. It was rhetorical.
Already. Let's go to Rico. Let's go and guys, for the viewers that's out there in the comments, we appreciate you. We see you. And Chocolate Buddha, I appreciate you addressing some of those because sometimes it's hard for me to type and do all that shit. So I appreciate it. Rico, what you got?
PM asked me a question earlier about something I spoke on. I wanted to answer it, and then I'm gonna answer the question: does racism exist in the military? Because I was in the military. So PM, he asked about the cost of racism in America. It says the economic cost of racism in America is estimated to be 16 trillion over the past 2 decades. According to a study done by economist Dana Peterson, the figures reflect the impact of discriminatory lending, wage disparities, and inequalities accessing higher education, among other factors. The study also found that racism has led to 13 trillion lost business revenue due to discriminatory lending practices, with an estimated of 6.1 million jobs not generated as a result of racism. Additionally, disparities in wages have resulted in 2.7 trillion in income loss for African Americans.
All right, that's what's up. Yeah. All right. So you.
And does racism exist in the military? To be honest with you, the very first time I ever experienced racism, I was in the military.
What?
Sergeant First Class Pyrone, I still remember his name. Oh my God. Sorry, I was a private E1. He was what's called an E7. If you've been in the military, if you've been in the military, y'all know I was at the bottom of the barrel. I was boo-boo the food. And he showed it to all of anybody that didn't look like him, to the point where if you've been in the military, you know, the NCOs feed you, they give you your food when you're in the field and all of that stuff. They give the soldiers eat first. And he used to just say some horrible things out there. And he was like, what you think? I'm going to give you something to eat? Keep on. I'm not your slave. Get on over here, boy. And oh man, it was bad. Yeah, it was bad. So I experienced it exists in the military very much.
Let's go to Chocolate Buddha, another military vet. Then we hit 7.
All right, y'all know I did 20 years up in that joker, and I would have to say I didn't experience racism before the military. I experienced it well before I joined the military. But once I got in the military, there was still racism in there. But here's the thing about the military that I love. I was able to check that shit. When I was a PFC, I was taught, and maybe it was because I was in the 82nd, shout out to the 82nd Airborne, I was taught that as a soldier, as long as I did right, nobody had the right to treat me any differently. And when I went to other military services like Third ID, units like that, they were still playing that racist shit, the stuff that my man Rico was talking about. But in the 82nd, as long as you was high speed, low drag, people better keep their hands off you. And you were able to talk and speak your mind. I came in as a PFC. So I still wasn't about shit. I made $600 a month strong. But when I said something and I was by the regulation, my uniform was tight, my beret was tight, my word carried weight. And when I became an NCO, I was able to push that around. Now, did I run into some people that felt that their color had a little more privilege than their rank? Absolutely. And then did I have an opportunity to check their ass? And maybe that's different now because of the administration. But when I was in my 20 years, you could play around and do that race card if you wanted to. But if you didn't know the regulation that, like I did, oh, you're about to get served. And my whole 20 years in there, my problem wasn't so much with racism as it was as classism. So getting out of the military, this is where I ran into the privilege and the racism in the civilian world. Because in the Army, all I had to do was know the regulations, and spout that shit and be able to check people. But on the outside, this civilian world, oh, this shit is another level. There could be somebody that's straight up stupid. And I mean that in the worst way possible, not even have a high school education. Say some shit to me, and I could be top level, educated man, and that person get word over me because of that privilege. Shit that would never happen to me in the Army. And it's still happening now. So that was my experience. And this is why I still have that disconnect with the civilian world versus when I was in the military. Because in the military, all I had to do was be able to show and prove that I knew better than this other person, and I could put them in place. In the civilian world, there are no boundaries out here. There is no safety net. I just got to move based on who's out there.
Right. Seven.
Yo, I don't know. My camera acting weird, man. That's crazy, but
I still see you. I mean, we still see you just a little whatever, but we see you.
I mean, the government is racist, man. I never fight for them.
Yeah, somebody said that in the comments somewhere.
Hey, fuck the government. Fuck the USA,
It was
man.
7.
Hey, I'm with all the action, man. Fuck this country, bro. Hey, this country don't belong to them, bro. This country been our
This is
country.
my fucking country.
Man. Hey, listen, I'm putting it like this. This is your country. But the United States ain't your shit. It's their shit. We was here before they came here. This our land, brother. We the indigenous people of this bitch. Yeah, this your country. And I want you to keep saying that loud and proud. But fuck the government, man. As a matter of fact, whoever had that problem with their sergeant being racist, I'm surprised a bullet ain't getting his motherfucking head one night when he was asleep, man.
There we go.
Oh, wait.
Dog, I was a private
I don't
E1.
give a fuck, but I would have slipped and dropped my gun and would have went off on his ass.
E1.
Let's come up here to Kelly right quick, and then we're going to hit
This
Kelly.
is my
and Jason.
shit.
Kelly, what you got, Kelly?
What do you mean you drop a dead fish in my lap and say, what do I got?
Any comments?
No. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I said, you know how we do it? You good? And before I go to Jason, you good or what?
No, I'm still fine, but I had most of my comments because I thought they were all predicated upon one thing, and then we went on a whole different tangent, and I wasn't prepared for everything else.
I'm gonna tell you, Kelly, when you come on Bob Shop Talk, I've got to say, when you come on Wizzo Talk, I don't even be prepared. I have them questions, but we go all over the fucking place, and that's the beauty of it too. So it's all original, it's uncut, it's unedited, and you just kind of got to get in where you fit in. If you can't, you just get to the back of the room, which we don't really have to do that no more.
Let me ask you guys this then, because if we're gonna do this, because I do a sports podcast, you guys are all in the Texas area, right?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. No.
So
I live in Louisiana.
So Rico, you in Louisiana. Chocolate Buddha, you are
New Mexico.
New Mexico. Jason, you are
South Texas.
So you in Texas.
Yeah.
7.
Texas.
Yeah, I'm in Texas.
All right, so we good. All right, so do you guys watch basketball? Do you guys even care about hoops at all?
I don't even fuck with sports. I hate that shit.
That's probably the only sport.
I watched the
Okay,
probably
so
the only
then
sport I
I'll be the
don't
bad
fuck
guy.
with.
Then I'll be the bad guy. Like, okay, so how good are the Houston Texans going to be next year then?
Oh, man.
Oh, now we got.
Conference finals. Conference finals.
That'll be one thing that you'll see here on Wizzo Talk. We don't hardly ever cover those sports. I think the last time we did, you and Jason talked a little bit about it, but
We did because, and this is why I was like, so when he asked me last time, it was like, do you think that Jerry Jones is a racist? And I go, I don't know because I don't know him, but I know. And then he put me on game as far as what he's done. I'm like, oh, I understand why that is the thought process.
Yeah, exactly.
Bro, if you really think about it, the entire NFL and all NBA, all that shit racist, bro. They got drafts, they got motherfuckers standing on scales half naked. That's what the fuck they did to the slaves, man. Hey man, hey man, matter of fact, hey man, fuck anything that black people out here fucking shucking and jiving for the white man for, man. Motherfuckers out here uplift their people. They out here goddamn making money for the goddamn white man to entertain a motherfucker. No, man.
I will say this because look, I will. Oh, y'all just keep boxing me in every goddamn time I'm on this show.
Wait a minute. Who are y'all? Who are y'all? What are you y'all? Who are y'all boxing me in?
I'm the only
y'all
white
folks.
person here
Who are
ever.
y'all?
I'm the only white person here. What do you think?
Hey, Rizzo had another white dude on, but that
people,
motherfucker, man.
no, the people on the show, y'all keep boxing me in. I think the draft.
Look, he turning red.
I think the draft process is dumb and shouldn't be a thing.
Right.
It's the most overrated, stupid thing ever. It's just dudes running in shorts, not playing actual sports. They're just jumping and running and catching. They're not actually playing sports. It's the dumbest thing ever. I think the draft is the dumbest thing that we do in professional sports, besides the lottery in the NBA.
Right.
Did you see what the person wrote? Talk about hockey, Prescott. That's
Hey,
what I
hey,
meant.
Rico, I saw you say you got something to say.
No. So Brad
Okay.
Alexander is going to get me in trouble because Brad Alexander is a friend of mine who lives in Alaska, married to a black woman, and he says, talk about hockey. No, I won't.
Oh,
Hockey was made in-
I can talk hockey.
Hey,
I
hockey
can't talk
started in Egypt,
basketball.
man.
I know, right?
Let me hear what Jason got to say, dear Rico, because I know you got to get ready to go. Before you go, Jason, Kelly, how much longer we got you? I know you got to go too.
I got about 15, 20 minutes.
Okay, let's hear what Jason gonna say. But then after Jason, I'm gonna make sure you don't have anything before I go to Rico. Rico, what time you got to leave?
I can stay to what?
Okay,
What is
all
the
right.
next?
Let's see what Jason. Let's see what
7:30.
Jason got right quick, and then we're gonna make. I want to touch Kelly because he's gonna have to go. All right, Jason, hit us with it.
I'm trying to look at some of the other stuff. Okay, I've done it before, but I'll do it again. I disagree. I disagree with Seven on the point that, like he says often and regularly, that this was a black continent, black country, right? It's he uses a broader brushstroke than what science tells us, right? So I agree with you that the people that were here were that we now deem natives, right? That they were black in skin color and a lot darker than what the natives we see these days are, and in today's modern language would be considered black people. I can agree with that, right? But if you go down to the genetic code of it all, these were East Asian people that had crossed over the Bering Strait, right? They look like us, but their DNA comes back to Eastern Asian people. The South Sub-Saharan black people like we are right now was not the people that was here. So you can have that. I mean, you can go with that.
Hold on, brother.
Hold up, Seven. Hold up, Seven. I got it.
No, it's fine. I want to hear what he's got to say.
I gotta let Kelly go because he's gonna have to leave in a few minutes. So I gotta let him go.
No. Tell you what, I have some impressions to do, but you guys cannibalize each other for a minute. No, I'm not getting into this. No, man, fuck all that. I'm not doing that.
All right,
No.
Seven.
No.
Rico, I'm gonna come back to you. Let me hear what Seven gonna say.
Man,
go ahead,
at first,
Seven.
right? In recent times, right? They found that there was a black man who had the oldest DNA, and it was tied to this land through mitochondrial DNA.
Why does mitochondrial mean?
Mitochondrial DNA is the oldest life form on the planet.
Hold on.
It will power your cells.
Hold on. In particular, something you leaving out of about mitochondrial DNA. Mitochondrial DNA.
2 minutes.
Mitochondrial DNA means that comes from the woman's lineage.
Yeah, okay? It does.
Hold on. So if you want to get further than that, you have to go with the father's lineage, which is directly from father to son. So what I'm telling you is anybody found with the mitochondrial DNA, listen, look at the three oldest beings, Homo sapiens they've ever found to predate everything and say that black African people that look like us with what's called melanin, right, come from Africa, right, being in the cradle of humanity, is because there was mitochondrial DNA that goes back over 300,000 years. They can go further, but they don't have the men's DNA. So what you telling me about them finding a mitochondrial DNA from a dead Homo sapien in this country does not mean that sub-Saharan DNA is from here. Does it predate Columbus and all this other kind of stuff? Absolutely, I can agree with you. But those black people, and I'm agreeing with you that as far as skin tone, that they were melanated people just like us, and probably darker than us, but they had Asian DNA genetically, and understand that just going with the mitochondrial DNA from Africa, 99.9% of us, all of us, regardless of what you look like, even if you are a white person, is going to go back to Africa. I'm not arguing with you on that. But what I'm telling you is that when that split starts happening and evolution starts happening and those start narrowing up because you live in a cold climate and that humidity is too much. So over genetics and purifying genetics going and actually getting out of the black portion of it is what's happening. Those were the people who crossed the Bering Strait before it was the Bering Sea, and those were the people that were here hundreds of thousands of years before Columbus or anybody else showed up saying that it even predates the Olmecs, and I'm sure you're familiar with all of that, right? It even predates them because the Olmecs were sub-Saharan black people like me and you. I'm just saying that if you're going off skin, I can agree with you. But if you're going off sub-Saharan versus Asian, you're wrong.
And this is what I wanted to tell you. Now, I just started off with the mitochondria. I didn't even get to the rest of it.
Okay, go ahead.
You are absolutely right about Asian people, right? Because if you actually do the research, right, our people were on the side more so of Florida, Mississippi, and that. We got in the middle. Now, this the thing, though, right? The Asian people you speak of, they did come over and we was fucking the shit out of them, right? And that's where Mexican people came from. The Olmecs were black people. The Mayans were black people. They had locks and everything.
I tried to keep that in as long as I could, and I couldn't.
Was made it out by the Spanish people. That's why you speak Spanish, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get y'all to say something. When you look at history, right? What's the only cultures that fuck with feathers? It was our people. Asian people wasn't fucking with feathers. The oldest pyramids in the world is in the Grand Canyon. These are our shits, bro. Right. You know what I'm saying? It's more pyramids in America than there is any other where. Life didn't start in Africa. That was a lie. Life started over here. The oldest shit is over here. You have a state in Illinois called Egypt. The Mississippi River was the Nile. They changed the names of things, but people don't know it because pale skinned people changed it. You can actually find old documentation, right? Where they actually.
I wasn't even born yet.
No, you wasn't.
He wasn't.
But the pale skinned people was writing the books was changing shit. That's what I'm saying.
No, I'm with you. I'm just like, don't. Our
people were already here. The Mongoloids that we call them the Native Americans now, yeah, they Asian motherfuckers. They like motherfucking Alaskan Eskimos or some shit like that.
I live in Alaska. Don't you do that
look
to
that
us.
shit up on the internet. They don't even look like what motherfuckers is really looking like. Because when they show documentation of the people who are already on this side, they had afros and pics in their motherfucking head, bro, man, out of wood. And the pics represent the crown.
Let me hold up, Jason. Hold that thought. I gotta get Rico in because I want to make sure we're not going just between two people.
Hey, look, I'm gonna finish them. I'm gonna say one thing that both of y'all are forgetting about. Y'all keep talking about after the split, but before the split, it was one supercontinent called Pangea, and the entire continent was black. And then once those continents split, and when one started talking about you getting further away from the equator and all that, because you can go back in history, every race, whether it's Asian, whatever, they all started out with our complexion. So you got to go back before the split. Most people don't even know that it was all one continent. If you look at the map, most of it fits. It'll go right back into place, and you bring it to the far side, come around to the other side, and it'll fit right into America. It's just like they got Africa looking like it's smaller than all of these other continents when it's the largest continent on the planet.
You can fit 3 Americas in that bitch.
Let me say, and I'm gonna address Kelly right quick, and then I'm gonna have come to Chocolate Buddha. But Kelly, I'm gonna send you this cash app because anybody that leave the screen have to send over $885. So I don't know if you got that memo, but you left the screen.
I'll tell you this: I unlocked the door for my kiddo to get home from work, so I got all day. I'm not going to contribute much, but like you
Hey,
ain't getting me for $885, nope.
Can I ask Kelly something before he go?
Yeah.
Two things. What do you think about the Rodney Hinton situation and up in Frisco, Texas, the Metcalf twins where the black teenager killed them? That's what I was going to talk about.
So again, with me being in Alaska, unfortunately, I don't know anything about.
Oh Lord.
That.
Okay, then.
You know I live in
I
live in Alaska. I'm not familiar with that, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, go ahead.
What you got, Kelly? Because I don't want to. I want to make sure you get your comments in before you get ready to go, and then after you finish, I'm gonna come to Chocolate Buddha. So you got anything? It doesn't matter what you want to address. We did cover a lot of shit.
No, it's all good, and I do. Like I have a little bit of time because I've got my kiddo in 15 minutes or so. So if you guys have anything, if you guys have questions for me, as a white guy, please go ahead. I got 15, 20 minutes because I know that there's not any, there's no hard feelings across the board because I do know that there are talking points and we disagree on certain things or narratives or whatever the case might be. But if you guys got questions for me, I got about 15 minutes to just answer weird ass questions about a white dude in Alaska.
Okay, I need to go to Chocolate Buddha, but like Chocolate Buddha always say, and then I need to go to him and then Jason. But like Chocolate Buddha says, we need to have these discussions, and these different topics and talk about different things like that. So I don't think it's anything directed toward one particular person, but I
don't take it that way.
I didn't notice you was the only white guy in the room. I didn't notice that. So but
man,
come on, man.
You just told a lie.
Man, come on, man.
Okay, let's go to Chocolate Buddha.
Could you imagine if I would have said I didn't notice that you guys are the only black people in the room? That would not have gone over well, man.
Hey, man. The first thing I want to say is, Kelly, appreciate you coming here because I don't know if you noticed that all us brothers here, we all have different aspects, especially me and my brother Seven. We stay at each other's throat, but we both from Chicago and we got each other's back. 100%. I'm gonna give you credit for having the intestinal fortitude to get on here because, just like we were saying earlier, the only way we're gonna be able to move forward is for somebody to come up here, face the fire, and let's get through it. Because the only way we're gonna transform is go through the storm. So thanks for coming on here on Wizzo Talk and having that conversation and being able to, stomach what we got to say because some people won't even come up to the table. And to me, we need more people like you to, pardon my French, shut the fuck up, listen to what we got to say, and then take that down and share what you got so we can move forward together. That's what needs to happen in America. As far
I really appreciate that, man. Sorry, I interrupted you, which obviously interrupted everything you just said.
No, that's pretty much what we
I was trying to appreciate you and I interrupted you. Goddamn, I'm terrible at this.
We throw it up in there. We just talk. The other thing is, everybody's got their different backgrounds, so I'm gonna tell you about my background. My name Chocolate Buddha is by design. I really have a love for everybody because to me we were talking about Pangea, and to me that whole thing transcends all kind of color. Everybody is my brother and sister on the planet. Now some of my brothers and sisters need a good ass whooping, and some of them need a good hug, but they still my brothers and sisters, and that's the way I'm living my life. So, brothers and sisters out there, y'all come on here and Wizzo Talk. Let's have that conversation. And for those that don't, be prepared for that good ass whooping because I'm gonna give you that. Hugs and ass whooping. Love you all.
Jason, what you got
It was
for us?
nice to meet you, Chaka Buddha. Appreciate it, man.
No, man, I'm enjoying the conversation. I hate to see. I know a couple of y'all say you got to go, Brother Prescott. You know what I'm saying? I'm always going. It ain't no love lost as far as hatred or nothing like that. But I'm always gonna challenge what I hear. I'm gonna challenge what I consume. I even challenge my own thoughts and personal beliefs, and I'm definitely gonna challenge other people. And I expect the same. If I say something that sounds sideways, I'll expect somebody to intellectually come at me about it, and let's do it. Let's sharpen up, because I feel like any kind of uncomfortability like that is growth. Again, anything I said and anything I say in the future is never going to be a personal attack on you or anybody else on the panel, regardless of whether it's this subject or any other subject. But I'm always going to say what I need to say to challenge what I do and don't believe. And again, I expect the same. And I respect you, like they said, for you coming on here, man. And I respect you every time you've been on. I've enjoyed seeing you, and I appreciate the interaction, man.
For sure, and I appreciate you too. And I know this is the first time I like really gave like some give back. I usually like, yeah, I'm cordially going to agree with everything, but there are certain things I'm going to agree with, but I'm not. Again, not the so much racism out there. Like if I try to justify certain things that happen in my experience that is not part of yours, it is not to justify certain things, but it is also like I understand how it's all ugly at certain point in times, but no, you guys have all been really great, really hospitable, and I enjoy having these conversations with you. And I've gotten more comfortable because I got a little more combative with you in a little bit of way, Jason, today, which I wasn't the last time. Which I think is, but like you said, which is good. Like we should have these difficult conversations, and even though I don't articulate them properly all the time, you check me, and I appreciate that. And Wizzo having me in this conversation space, I think it's appropriate and necessary.
Yeah. So, yeah, we got to talk about that. And so I'm gonna ask one other question that I'm gonna put out there. But also, you guys, before you get ready to go, also anyone that's watching, whether you're watching now, maybe you're watching later, y'all make sure y'all check out the playbook. I don't follow sports a lot, but I tap in on your show from time to time, and then I share it because just because I don't doesn't mean someone on my page might not like it. So if I catch it, I'm gonna share it because it's free to share. Just hit the damn share button. It's free. It's free to like, share, subscribe. So I appreciate it. So I'm gonna throw this out here. And you guys, you guys already know how we do it. So I'm going to ask y'all, do y'all think Trump supporters are racist? And if yes, then what do you say about the people of color or the black people or the melanated people that voted with Trump? And also,
I'll stick around for 15 minutes longer, but you guys can talk first, but I will stick around longer. I will stick around longer for this.
And then also, do you think? So I'm asking, do you think Trump is? Do you think that his supporters are? And if you're saying that his supporters are racist, what are you saying about the people of color, black, melanated, Latino, whatever, that voted for him? Are they racist also? And with that starting off first, let me come over here to 7.
I think all them people racist, bro. Hey, I ain't gonna hold it back, man. Hey, man, this people gotta die, bro, for real. Motherfuckers not gonna change. People feel secure. People feel secure in how they feel. Motherfuckers out here killing our people, bro, killing our kids and shit, bro. Hey, bro, I want to say one thing, man, for sure. To the father who ran over the police officer, he's my new spirit animal.
Rodney Hinton.
Hey, my man's. Hey, we need to get some money together. Hey, all the black community, we need to get money together. Listen, I ain't trying to make shit weird for my man Kelly over here, man. But listen, anytime a white lady can call a little kid a nigga and she can get $500,000, hey, I'm trying to raise money for a nigga who ran over the police.
It's up to 700,000 now.
Hey, bro, it's 700 now.
I love how I'm catching strays that never voted ever.
Hey, listen, I wouldn't give a fuck if he ran over a black police officer. Just the fact that he ran over a police officer is worth him getting the money, man. Him running over a white police officer is just a bonus to me, man. Already. Police officers all together are a gang. The color don't got shit to do with that. But my man, he needs to do that. Hey, we need to start crashing out for our people the way other motherfuckers crash out for their culture. And I definitely believe that whole MAGA shit. even the black people who own that MAGA shit is retarded, man. Because motherfuckers out here don't realize you black, bro. And if the motherfuckers who racist is with the MAGA shit and they want slavery to come back, what makes you think they won't be whooping your ass and you black MAGA? You gonna get your ass beat too.
Exactly.
People is fucking retarded out here. Everybody is suffering from some type of delusion.
So this is
Black
why I said
people
Alaska is
black
basically
people don't know who the fuck
Texas.
they is.
You guys all
White
have,
people
you
don't
guys
know
all
who
seem
they
to have a
is.
you
And
guys all
motherfuckers
seem to
out
have
here-
a similar you guys all seem to have a similar observation of Trump,
Yeah.
right?
Yes. Some of us, but I know a couple that don't. But let me let Seven finish right quick before I go to Arby.
And you got people out here thinking Trump doing some amazing shit. Nobody who work for the government is for the people, man. I don't understand why anybody don't get this shit, bro. Everybody lining their pockets except for the little people. They all get their pockets lined, bro. You got that retarded ass dude. What's his name? To make the Tesla cars. Motherfuckers think he's some type of super soldier or some shit.
He makes Teslas. He makes the best Teslas. You have to know he makes the
That's
best
actually
Teslas.
God damn.
That was
bro.
good.
I thought he was on
That was good.
Hey,
I thought you guys all knew he makes the Teslas. All the Teslas are the best ones. It's the best ones in the world.
That's crazy, dog.
All right, let me come over here to Chocolate Buddha. Chocolate Buddha. What about Trump support? Is he racist? Is his supporters racist? And what do you think about the people of color that voted for him? Are they racist toward their own people? What's up with that?
Okay, a little bit for Seven. Shit, Seven. God damn it. I'm gonna go ahead and get the plus part out the way. Yes, they're racist, even the ones that are black, Cuban, Hispanic. Just because you're not white doesn't mean that you can't be racist against your color. And if they support what he does, they're racist. But let me put a fucking hard pump. Don't carry your ass out there killing cops, goddammit. Do not go out there trying to kill cops, trying to kill soldiers. Pump your brakes on that shit. I know Seven's heart's in the right place, but don't do that shit.
Yeah.
Do not go out there and do that shit. Be selective.
Oh, man.
All right, let's
Be
So I got
selective.
some.
I
Hey,
gotta put this out because me and Seven go back and forth on this all the time. 20-year military vet. Not everybody the Trump supporter, and most of us that are well equipped, we shoot center mass. Don't carry your ass out there running up talking about you getting some kind of government soldier or something out there, because a lot of my brothers and sisters are in that blue uniform. We'll tag that ass up. So be selective.
Yeah, you're right. Don't let them know you coming.
Don't play. Hey,
hey,
there's
man.
a lot of people that thought
UNITY.
So can I ask a question real quick?
your ass can't crash. I'm a chocolate Buddha, but I'm gonna tell you, I keep the balance right. Just because I won't smack your ass in the daylight, don't mean I won't smack your ass.
No, I have a question because I've never experienced this because like my dad was in the military, but like if you're in the military, are you allowed to vote for the next president? Because I don't know because I've never been enlisted my own. Are you allowed? Yeah. Are you allowed to?
Yes.
Vote for anything.
You vote for whoever you want.
Yeah.
All right. I just wasn't sure if that was even a thing. I wasn't sure if you like renounced your. Obviously, like you still have your citizenship, but I wasn't sure if you were able to still vote while you were still enlisted because it might, skew the.
It goes on.
I got
in the military. No matter where you're at in the country,
military, we're
where
like
you at in the world, vote.
But we still have the right to vote for whoever we want, like we want. We still have those rights. We just fall under UCMJ.
Gotcha.
We there's certain things we can and cannot say and do. But yeah, we vote just like everybody else vote. But
like is that you can vote, but it's not disclosed, or
people shouldn't be sharing their vote anyway.
It's done the exact same way.
Yeah.
Okay, I just wasn't sure.
I
wasn't sure because I haven't had these conversations with like active duty military people beforehand. I just wasn't sure how that actually worked.
Hey, before I go, I want to answer Wizzo's question. I have 3 categories of Trumpsters, right? The first is the poor white people. Like, this is what I think they are. They are the stupidest, dumbest MF people, I said dumb to this,
Not
dumbest
the dumb to this.
on earth, because they have been voting. Forgive me, Lord. I know you made me do that. It's okay. But they have been voting Republican for all of these years, and they just keep making them poor and poor because they got belief in their mind. Even though I'm dirt poor, I'm better than them niggers. I'm telling you. And then you got your rich Trumpers. They just want to do whatever with him because he is gonna pad their pocket. They just gonna go along. All they care about is money. And lastly, our people who vote for anything, one of them races, or you hang around with them, they your friend, or one of them races, you gotta be the dumbest, you know what, as well, because when it all goes down, see, you thinking they gonna protect you. You're not gonna always be around them. They gonna catch you up in the next town and they gonna get you. I promise you, y'all you vote against your own best interest. Not just that, your children, your grandchildren's, and grandkids, descendants you will never see. So I can't respect that. I'm sorry, that's personal.
That's what's up. And before Jason go, I'd like to send out another shout out to all of the viewers that's watching right now. I appreciate your support. If you'd like to subscribe to my YouTube channel, the link is in the description, or it is strolling across the bottom of the screen. I appreciate your support, and keep the comments and the questions coming on in. Jason, what's up with it?
You know, I've voiced my opinion on this before. I think that and that's why a large part of my comment earlier when Prescott and I were going back and forth is because that is a large part. I don't. Trump's gonna be an idiot, man. No matter if he's trying to lie to you about real estate or sell you a book or a tie or a hat or tell you that he's the best thing for the country. He's a moron. Like, the problem we have is that his rhetoric is so attractive to white people who would rather vote against their own self-interest and do themselves harm in their voting, as long as they think it's not going to affect them. It's going to affect these other people, or it's going to affect me, but it won't be. God told me this at work. It won't be as bad. We're going to recover. We have to go through a little bit for a while, but it's going to get better. And this is crazy. And that's the problem, is that those are the people who support him. Those people are the majority. You could get every black person voting black person on the same page and say, let's all vote one way. But again, because of the American systemic racism, it's not going to matter, because just the electoral college is a racist system. It allows for any kind of gerrymandering to make sure that our votes won't count properly anyway. And then if you do count every vote, if you take away gerrymandering, you take away all these things that are set in place to disenfranchise us, and we just do a popular vote, that's just literally not enough of us that would make a difference if we all voted the same way. So it's always going to come back to the people who are the actual majority in this country to open their eyes and see that this man is the division is the problem. This country, like I said, was established, even our Constitution was established to benefit the white elite man. And it's been expanded since then. And anything that did come in to help anybody other than that, Trump is doing his level best to dismantle, and is going to go back to harming everyone, even the white man that's not the elite white man. Because the reality is, if you don't earn a loan, let alone your household, $600,000-$500,000 a year, if things continue the way they are in the next 24 to 48 months, you're gonna have a problem, man. You're gonna have a problem. So it's very few of us that are going to be able to stand up under this thing, man. And until people remove the emotion and the passion that the government is explaining to us to have against one another about racial stuff and religious stuff and LGBTQ and all these other dog whistles of shit that don't even matter in the grand scheme, and we continue to fight about those things instead of talking about the real issues, which is the fact that the elites, regardless of race, are fucking us dry All of us. It don't have nothing to do with skin color. It don't have nothing to do with gender. It's about the people with money sitting back laughing at the table as the rest of us struggle through it. They're not complaining about groceries. They're not complaining about LGBTQ. They're not worried about who's going into Target or who's driving a Tesla. They're worried about their money making more money for them and privatizing things, because ever since they started issuing us Social Security numbers, we are the product. America is the store. And so until people understand that and stop fighting about bullshit, then we're going to continue to be where we are. The people that can stop this are the people that we should be angry with, and that's Congress, and that's the Senate. And that's why do you have 2 senators representing 600,000 people in Wyoming and 2 senators representing 40 million people in California? And you want to tell me that I have a democratic system? So we focus on things that don't matter instead of focusing on things that would help us. But that's just my opinion.
I live in Alaska. There's not even 1 million goddamn people who even live here. Jason makes it's such a great point. No, we shouldn't have the exact same amount of power that every other state does. It's stupid.
You know, I'm going to say this right quick. This is a little bit off, but usually Prescott hit the beat button. He didn't hit the beat button. He let that shit out. He must have hit something in some
I thought I said something. Did I curse?
Yeah, you did.
Oh, he let go. It's retroactive. It's retroactive.
Yeah.
Oh no, I made a boo-boo.
No doubt. He hit that shit right on out there. So I got another question I'm gonna ask, but I gotta see if anybody else have anything on what Jason was saying right there. Anything? Are we good? So let me ask you guys this here. I mean, I've done a little bit of research, but I'm just gonna ask you guys. You know, if you had to say which race was the most racist.
Can I just bow out now? I know it's not me personally, but can I just leave the combo?
I want to know.
I don't want to be associated with it. This is not fair to me.
Hey, look what I have in my notes also. Both races are quick to say, I have friends that are black or white or whatever.
I know, but that was
already in my notes.
I knew that was gonna be
no, that was in my notes already.
Wizzo, you baited me, you jerk. I thought we were friends. This is some bullshit, man.
That was already in my notes, so I was laughing. So, but I want to ask you guys, what do y'all think? I mean, who's the most racist? Is it black? Because we talked about that before on one of the deals. Can black people be racist? That video got probably like about 50-some thousand views. So I just want to ask y'all, which race do y'all think is the most racist? Just your opinion on that. 7.
Do I get to block out my video face right now?
Man, I actually got something quite surprising to say for y'all, man. Y'all probably not gonna expect this when I say this, man.
What you got?
Honestly, man, I believe that the most racist people aren't even one race. I believe the most racist people are the people who have been deemed to be white, but it's only because they have pale skin.
Thank you.
And the reason why I'm saying is because even today, right, when you look at the stats, right, and I've been posting this on Facebook. 60, 70 years ago, they weren't counting Irish people or Italian people as white. You see what I'm saying? Like they fudging the numbers because white people's numbers are falling so dramatically. They got to start counting other people as white, and it even goes into the Mexicans. I seen somebody put a
Hispanic
comment about even when it's with them, right? I've seen quite a few Hispanic people who, if their skin is pale enough, they've put that they're white on their birth certificate. And so it's really interesting when it comes down to when we think race is color, right? The most prejudiced people are the people who think that their skin is fair enough for them to get away with whatever the fuck they want to get away with. It don't even got nothing to do with genetics anymore, really. It just got something to do with motherfucking skin tone. And that's how dangerous the world is. because if your skin tone is a certain color, you could damn near get away with anything. Like I think it was Paul Mooney who was saying that if a white person, if they asked a white person, "Hey man, why did you kill your entire family?" and motherfucker be like, "Man, I got 12 personalities." They was like, "Oh man, well we need to do some motherfucking research on this. Is interesting." And they asked a black person, "Man, why did you wake up and kill your whole family?" And the black man said, "I got 12 personalities." They said, "Well, nigga, decide which one you gonna be, because one of you." So that's what it boils down to, man. It's pretty much just tone of skin, bro.
He's stuck. Or is it me?
Can I ask you guys a question real quick?
All right.
So you guys don't watch a whole lot of basketball, but Isaiah Hartenstein, right? He plays for the Oklahoma City Thunder. He said he was a black dude. He called himself bright skin. Do you guys know that story at all?
No, I haven't heard it. Jason?
I'm sorry, it broke up on me.
Oh no, so Isaiah Hartenstein.
Okay.
Sorry, are you familiar with him?
From the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Right. So he said he was black, and he got a bunch of backlash because he looks. If I had more light right now because I live in Alaska, he looks like me but with better hair. And he called himself bright skin. And it took a while for people to understand that he's black. Black.
Right.
Like, do you like? So I know that you actually follow sports. So like, what was your kind of?
He got a lot of undue backlash for that. I admit that my opinion is biased in that my son from my ex-wife, who's white, has blue eyes like his mother and straight curly hair, not that typical biracial hair. And if he were to go more clean cut, I'm sure that he would run into that same type of an issue. But my son is no less black than anybody else, myself included, when you look at if he wants to consider himself a black man, because I'm his father, then that's what he can do, right? So I understood that more than the average person, having lived through it, also understanding my own genetic background and history, and understanding that my father, from my paternal grandparents, both paternal grandparents, my grandmother and grandfather on my father's side were both biracial. They came together and had my father, who married a black woman, and my mother, and had me. So I myself know that genetically there's a lot more white genetics in me than there are in the average black man. And so that when I married and had a child with a white woman, and he came out with blue eyes and straight hair, but my face and all other aspects, I understood what was going on, because it really wasn't a 50-50, more than like a 60-40. You know what I'm saying? So I understood. And I think that's what he's going through. And they went into, his whole thing. But that, I will say, back to where me and you got a little sideways earlier, is exactly what I mean when I say that he can document that all this backlash I'm getting, I'm still going to stand up for what I believe. I don't care what you see when you look through your windows in your eyes and see a little white kid in the NBA. I'm telling you I'm black. And if you got something negative to say about black people around me, or if you look at Lionel Richie's daughter, forget which one, but the one that she's very passable for a white, she says she's in a lot of rooms where people say things because there's no black people around, and she's extremely offended. She'll quit the job. She'll go off because she knows that's who she is, which is a different scenario than what we were talking about earlier, but just an example of what I'm saying, where sometimes people endure things, and they endure this racism, and it's a chosen. They can choose to be silent, or they can choose to endure what the rest of us are enduring. And it's people like that who speak out, who change, because now you have a whole bunch of people who follow sports that didn't know this about him, and then when they found out this about him, now they know something about race and racism that they didn't know previously. And maybe even if only 25% of them take heed to it, maybe that changes their thoughts and their understanding of what's actually going on, which is why I say it takes the white people to educate the other white people who don't know any better, who are ignorant, that's going to make the change. Because we can stand up there and ballyhoo all day, and the reality is, Seven saying the stuff that he says, we laugh or whatever, but we understand what he's saying. But it's a lot of, and you even understand, but it's a lot of white people that would hear him say certain things that immediately will shut down, and they don't want to learn from him.
Right. Let me say this right here. I need to get Chocolate Buddha, but let me say this. When first when we was talking about I'll tell you this little short, little quick deal. My first wife was very, very light skinned. Her grandmother was white. Her great grandmother was white. So to look at her, you would think she was white. Hell, my son that we had together almost thought his mama was white. But she used to work at this bowling alley. And then the lady of that owned the bowling alley told her that ain't no way in the world that I have a black person working behind my counter and doing this. She's telling this to my girlfriend at that time, which later wound up being my wife. Ain't no way in the world I have no black. And she telling you, all right, well, her mama's black, her daddy's black. There's white in her, but she's real bright skinned, but it's way down the line. So I'm just touched that right quick. And also there was a deal when I think Tiger Woods at one time said that he wasn't black. You know,
Malaysian.
and
Whoa, you
and
that was simultaneous.
and then we touched
I
something
wasn't
one
sure if
time.
that was a lot of react that way, but that was simultaneous.
And we touched one thing one time when they said something about Kamala Harris, and I know Seven was on because Seven has been on almost everything, and we said something about Kamala Harris. Well, I think Chocolate Buddha said if she walk her ass down that street, Kamala Harris, they gonna say she's black. They're not gonna say she's Indian or she's this or she's that. Her ass is black. And then one last thing, I'm just touching something right quick before you go, Chocolate Buddha, on this here. Someone said something about about the French being racist, and I know that you've been in the military, and I think you said at one time that it's more racist over here in the United States than it is over there, anywhere over that way. So I don't know. I hadn't been in, but I thought you may have said something like that, Chocolate Buddha, but I can't really recall. But I'm gonna yield back so you can go ahead and get you some in.
Well, as far as speaking of overseas racism versus in America, they're racist over there, but they on a whole different level because they throw in a little religion, they throw in regional racism, all kind of shit. Over here, it's just straight up black and white. You know, we're gonna side on pigmentation on. But as far as talking about the skin color, how many people have seen the movie Sinners?
Yeah,
I
Okay,
haven't yet.
you got to go see it. Not just because it's a well made movie, but there's a lot of American history in there. I'm not going to give away the plot, but I will tell you this: there is a woman in there that everybody believes to be white, and she's not. And this is why I love Louisiana. I'm not originally from Louisiana, but my family's from Louisiana. There's a lot of people in Louisiana to this day. You need to watch what you say around people because you may think that you're talking to a white coon ass Cajun and mess around and say something racist and get the shit slapped out of you because they're black and they're racist black and will knock the shit out of you for saying the wrong thing, even though they got fair complexion, sunburn, light color eyes, and straight hair, because um, that is part of the the dynamics in Louisiana. Has always been there. Now, has it been something that was forced upon? We can look at the history and see some of that shit was meant that way, especially when you look at the red light district in New Orleans or that region between Texas and Louisiana, where there was a region of them. But nevertheless, there are people that grew up in that area where you couldn't tell who they were, and a lot of them went on in life and went to California and Oklahoma and married off as white. And it wasn't until later on down the line where they had a little black great grandbaby and they thought family was treat. No, that's part of their DNA. And
Right.
I am happy to say that that's part of my lineage. You go down and see my cousins in Franklin, Louisiana, and they look like you. They look light skinned. They have light color eyes, but fuck around and say the wrong thing. See what's gonna happen to you in Louisiana. You might not make it out of Louisiana, but this is the beauty about what I see as the future of America. No matter what they try to do in this Trump era and this we're gonna preach hate era, the fact is this change has already started a long time ago.
yeah.
The education part is just starting to catch up. And no matter how much they try to dumb it down, education is going to win. And in the end, somebody put it
I
earlier. I
hope it
wish
does.
we can see that we're going to be, we can see that we're brothers and sisters in the end. education is the great denominator for everything. All the stuff that we're seeing with racism equates to ignorance. The only way racism survives is with ignorance. The more people get educated, and this is my personal opinion, why this administration is trying so hard to burn up books and close down stuff, because they know the more people get educated, the harder it is to keep racism on the top shelf.
On the real truth, not what was written beforehand.
Yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
Right.
Jason, what you got?
No, man, everybody's covering everything. I missed a couple points just because I think something going on with my internet, but yeah, man, we got to get to a place where none of this kind of stuff matters, and we understand that we all have a common enemy, man. Like, and when I say we all, I'm talking about 85% of us in the country. I'm not even breaking us down by race or gender. I'm saying 85% of us have a common enemy. And until we can understand that, and we remove that learned behavior of thinking that somebody at every turn is going to be trying to put their foot on our neck for one reason or another, then we'll understand that, you know, we got to get together so we can get over this, because that's the only way we're going to make it. This kangaroo democracy that we live under anyway is deteriorating, and people don't understand the extreme amounts of deterioration and the rapid rate that is happening, that we are experiencing right now, that's going to continue if we don't do something about it.
Can I ask one question before we head out?
Yeah.
Or before I do? What do you guys think is the worst outcome? Because I've gotten flack from one aspect and the other. Is it better to vote for one person that you don't really believe in just because you believe in the ability to vote, or do you believe in it's better to not vote and not vote for the lesser of two evils? I've never voted my entire life, so I get a lot of stuff up here in Alaska, because it is Alaska's basically Arctic Texas is a largely Republican based, state. I see Trump flags falling on all the time. I don't believe in that, but I also don't believe in that any real political party, or I've never voted at the lower levels as well. Do you think it's better to not vote at all, or vote for one just to make others happy? Because for me personally, especially because I live in Alaska, I got a 2 vote, like it only matters for 2 when it
Right.
comes to like the actual election for the nation. It's a 2 vote status. It's hard for me to convene that. It makes more sense for me to do anything. Like I don't know. I would rather just not do. If it's the lesser of two evils, I just rather not be a part of it, basically.
All right. Let's see what Chocolate Buddha, go ahead. I was looking at the comments over here. So you want to address that first?
All right, I thought I was gonna go last, but I'll go ahead and go first and get it out of the way. Because I used to be one of the people that believed that your vote matters. I still believe your vote matters, but I no longer believe that you should have to vote for somebody that you particularly don't care for. And I put this squarely on the both parties, and I also put it on the fact that we need somebody to give us something to believe in. Um, with that being said, and we've joked around.
Do you believe that Bernie Sanders was our one opportunity to have that?
Let him finish that
No,
comment.
I'm glad he asked that, because I'm gonna wrap that into it, because Bernie Sanders fiasco was really the beginning of the end, in my opinion. When Bernie Sanders was running, he was the top dog for the Democrats, and I don't care what anybody says. Hillary Clinton and her power move bumped him out the way in uh, a sickening fashion that really just took out what the voting process was. She pulled strings to get up there. If they would have let the voting process go the way that I thought it was going, Bernie Sanders would have pushed through there, and he probably would have been an old ass president. but because Hillary played the politic card the way it is with her fucking hot sauce in the bag, she really cost the Democrats the election. Now, fast forward to now, we got trash out there. We got a lot of people doing a lot of talking on both sides, and nobody's really standing up. And I've said this before on Wizzo Talk. Maybe I need to get up there and run. And I'm not just saying that to toot my horn, but I'm saying with the people that's out there that's really just trying to do something for the gram or get something out there just so they can get somebody put some money in their pocket. Hell, every last one of us that's on this panel have what it takes to run for office. So instead of just saying, hey, you should just use your vote and just vote for somebody so we don't get Trump in there, I'm saying, hey, get along with people that you know and find out who could be most suited to get up there and cast your vote for and push them to the front. And I'm going to tell you right now, in a couple of years, you might be voting for me.
And gotcha. And before Jason go, I'm gonna say this just to answer your question. I've said it before. That orange motherfucker. I would not vote for that motherfucker if he freed every person that's of color that's locked up and gave each one of them $1 million. I wouldn't vote for that motherfucker. Now people tell me, they say, well, Wizzo, you shouldn't make it personal. I say, well, it's personal to me. Fuck that motherfucker. I don't stand nothing. This one guy gonna tell me, he said, Wizzo, I like him, and black guy, person of color, whatever you want to say. Trump's a bad motherfucker. Trump don't take no shit. To me, Trump's a fucking coward. I mean, that's all he is. He just know that he has the United States behind him in this big powerhouse. He's a fucking coward. And we said it before that all presidents are puppets. This motherfucker, have you ever watched him read the Monitor, the Bulletin?
I've never watched him read, but I've heard him talk.
It's just stupid. So to answer your vote, I'd rather vote for a goddamn 4-legged, 8-legged dog before I vote for that motherfucker. I don't like no Trump. And with that being said, I'm gonna yield back and let Jason say something. But you finna go, Scott?
No, I was say I agree with.
I need to let Jason say something. Then we need to go to 7. Go ahead, Jason.
I don't. I'm not one of these people who vote shames people that don't vote, because I understand how the voting process works in this country. They take as a note of documentation. They take what the outcome of the popular vote was, which is a straight, I voted for this guy, write my name down for that guy. But they don't use that. They use the Electoral College, and it's only a few handful of states that the elected Electoral College voters have to do what the popular vote was, meaning they forego their own vote to vote the way of the people. That's a very small amount of the 50 states and territories that even require that. So the popular vote can come back if all of us say, let's rush to the polls, and we can take all the popular vote and say we want to vote for Mickey Mouse, right? And the 47 electorates that we have, who each individually get to cast one vote, and it's only 47 of them, they don't have to do what we want. They can still vote for whatever they want, and they can still do whatever, the elites want them to do. It was a way to disenfranchise us years ago, and that's why I keep coming back to the same comments, because you got to understand that the standardized testing, the SAT, the ACT, all of these things were racist things to disenfranchise us as Black people. A lot of people don't understand that even the concept of unpaid internships at the corporate jobs, that's racist. That was a way for Black people to not be able to do those things because we couldn't afford to work for free. But white people could come in with mommy and daddy's money, and they could work these jobs, and now they own the corporate positions because they have the background and they have the experience, and they were an unpaid intern for a year or two. And so, yeah, they get to come in and take these. All of these things are systemically set up to disenfranchise us, which is what I wanted to say earlier but I just picked two other things to argue with Seven about, right? But when he was saying
Oh, thank God
when,
it's not me anymore.
when he was saying that if black people were to get together, and I think it might have been Rico that said split the country and all this other kind of stuff, how we would police ourselves to do that. Policing is not a concept of our culture. Policing is a westernized white culture. We wouldn't police anything because we believe in community taking care of themselves, right? And so we wouldn't even have police. That is a concept in our brains, and that's an example of some of the things that have took our trains of thought and made them linear to agree, even subconsciously, that white things are normal and white things are regular, and things like the way that we vote for things are proper. Because in reality, if we had a black cultural community, then we would choose to have elders that had input. We would choose to have corporate people who had input, blue collar people who had input. And the reality is, because all of us are not a monolith when it comes to religion, we choose some religious people and some herbalists, and we'd have all these people giving us input. The concept and everything that is surrounding around voting, and this, especially the two-party system, all of these things were meant to disenfranchise black people and only serve the elites. They were meant to disenfranchise broke white people and only serve the elites, until all of us understands that they have us thinking on a plane where we think my only choice is to stab myself with this knife or shoot myself with this gun. Then we're never going to get out of feeling like we got to hurt ourselves. You see what I'm saying? And that's where we are as a people, is that this country has indoctrinated us into a position where we think we got a choice, and that choice is stab myself or shoot myself. And I'm saying, if you break away from that and you get out of that paradigm and you start to become a free thinker and think about yourself and do what you want to do as far as your own thoughts, take off of that linear process of thought, now you understand, maybe I don't have to kill myself. Maybe I want to just take a drink of this water. You see what I'm saying? And so I don't knock people that don't vote, because I understand that the reality is their vote really doesn't matter anyway.
Right. Boom. And before we got to go to 7, let me give a shout out to all of the viewers that's watching right now. I appreciate your support. If you'd like to subscribe to my YouTube channel, the link is in the description, or you see Wizzo Talk 8972 scrolling across the screen right there. And if you'd like to be a guest on the show, by all means, hit me up. Favette, I appreciate you tapping in. Also, she was supposed to be on one of my next podcasts coming up, Adult Conversation Between Men and Women. And I'm still working on trying to fill that spot up right there. But I appreciate y'all out there that's watching, whether you're watching it now, you catch the replay. Appreciate you. Subscribe if you like. I appreciate your support. 7, what you got to Prescott comment there? Question, I mean. Oh, you got some on your own.
Man, no, I'm gonna answer that. The first thing I want to say is there was a comment in here that said something about black people still being listed as slaves.
Yeah,
you actually got to go on public forums and list that you're 5/5 realized, bro, because they still got you as 3/5 of a person. You got to go on certain public forums and state certain things, because the government watching all that shit. And then you know what I'm saying? Like, when you start writing down documents, you got to write this shit down too, though. But as far as when it comes to voting, I don't vote, man. I feel like to participate in the invalid system or a fraudulent system makes you fraudulent. But I will say this though: if Orby ran for president, I fuck with him heavy. This is why I want to say that. This is why I want to say the chocolate Buddha though. If you run for president, Jason needs to be vice president, brother.
I'm not qualified. I'm not qualified.
Bro, now you qualified, brother, because when you talk, both of us gonna listen.
Hey, if you're not gonna be my my vice, how about being my either my sec def or my FBI guy?
I'll do that.
You need to be
all right.
there, man.
I heard it here.
If this happens, I'll register to vote.
Hey, listen, man, y'all put me in there somewhere too, man. I'm trying to crack some fucking heads, man. On God, bro. I'm not holding back. I'm not holding back, man. It's for the kids. I don't give
I'm putting you over agriculture.
I would that too.
my ideas are very radical, right? And the people that consider my ideas radical are the people that are okay with this status quo, the people that are okay, like I said before, holding the gun or the knife. Because the reality is, if we had leadership, and I'm talking about Obama, I'm talking about George W., I'm talking about Trump, I'm talking about Biden, I'm talking about all of them. If we had leadership who really cared about making this country better for its citizens, truly, then things would have changed years ago that just don't make sense. We got 9 full term forever justices, and the population has grown massively since 1929. The reality is we need 15 Supreme Court justices. They need an 18-year term limit. And the reason it needs to be 18 is because every 2 years you get rid of 2 of them, and then you can have the new president into this new regime, and under another generation, now we almost 20 years down, that can bring in 2 more. And if you have 15, you will never have any of this bipartisan stuff going on. If you put in place all these checks and balances that we need, the reality is every day, Democrat or Republican, they show us every single day that they don't give a fuck about what the American citizen people are going through and what we need. And that's the reality. We're too far down from what?
The bipartisanship, man, like it's too far down. Like it was one, I hate you or I hate you. Like
absolutely. And then what I'm saying is we don't need I don't give a shit if they ever reach across the aisle. If you do what's better for the people, then that's all that matters. Which the only thing I would say to you that I left out before is, as a non-voter, I can respect that, especially at the presidential level, but definitely get involved in your local elections, because that's what matters for your day-to-day life. That's what matters.
They're corrupt as well.
Oh, I agree in the corruption, but what I'm saying is then you really have a true chance to change that local level of corruption. And that's the only chance, and it's a chance. I'm not saying it will. I'm saying that's the chance that you have. That's the only opportunity as citizens that we have to make sure that what we do day to day in our little region, in our little area, that matters. The rest of that stuff, when it comes up to the senator of your state, when it comes up to anything higher than that, even governor, now you're playing with stuff that really, like I say, the corruption is too much. But the entire system is corrupt. The whole thing needs to be thrown out. And that's why I say my ideas on how to fix it are considered extremely radical, because I'm saying scrap, and it's a mentality thing. And again, I'm pulling it away from race and saying it's a mentality thing that we've all been indoctrinated to think that certain things have to happen a certain way, and it's all bullshit. If you look up the efficacy of centralized governments of westernized countries, America's is the 24th. Like it's 23 people doing better than we are for their citizens. It don't matter about size. It don't matter about GDP. It don't matter about any of these other things that we keep as a metric, right? If you just look at the efficacy of what these governments are doing for their citizens, we are losing.
Hey, Jason.
We also want to believe that things that happened 350 goddamn years ago still are relevant today, and they're not.
Exactly.
Chocolate Buddha, go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to say something to make sure that Jason wants to be on my exploratory committee.
Absolutely.
First and foremost, when I run, I'm not running for 8 years like a lot of these jokers I want to do it in 8 years. I'm looking to be radical. I'm looking to do everything I need to do in 4 years. And some of the things you said is what I'm looking to do as an independent. Number one, we definitely need more judges on the Supreme Court, and we need term limits. We need not just for them, but we need term limits for these senators, these motherfuckers that's been there. We need that. But the other thing, representation. We shouldn't have a state like fucking South Dakota having the same fucking representation as Texas or California. And we're talking about.
I'm in Alaska. We got 2. That's what I'm saying, though.
Right.
We need more numbers. And what I'm looking at doing is fuck all this, be friends with Democrats and be Republican. I'm going to make a call out to regular Americans. If you're tired of this shit, like I posted earlier, this is not about this facade of blacks versus white shit. That's what they want to believe. This is a case of the haves versus the have-nots. If you're not
100%.
making 200,000 or more, goddamn it, you are a have-not. Vote for me. Let's get up here and change this shit. I don't want to do a second term. I want to do everything I can in 4 years. If y'all like what I do in 4 years and you want me to do another 4 years, we'll talk about that then. But everything I'm looking to do is flip this shit in 4 years because enough is enough. These motherfuckers just keep getting richer, and everybody that's supposed to be supporting us, guess what? They're making over 600,000 plus. They are the haves.
I got
million.
one suggestion.
Has become a multimillionaire. Even motherfuckers that was scrubbing tables before they got elected. Their first year, millionaires. We do not have anybody that's not a millionaire that's representing us. And I'm not mad at that. You got your money, good. Now we need to flip that shit. So if I do run, trust and believe it's not going to be the status quo, being nice, and I might not be the badass that I used to be, but I'm still kind of nice with these, so they can run up if they want to.
Right. So let me come to Kelly and y'all. We pass a couple of hours and y'all know we can get to going because this shit get good. But I'm gonna come to Kelly and then we're gonna kind of go around the room and get ready to close on out.
Yeah, I got about in a second. I'm just saying that I was class president when in 7th grade, and all I promised was look. I got the real talk. All I offered was no black licorice, all red licorice. We need 3 Fruitopia soda machines, and pretzels and cheese were $1.50, not $3. And I won class president, so I think that I can run with you. That's all I got. I love you guys. Stay up, stay blessed.
All right, brother. Appreciate it, man. Let's get this thing together.
All right, that's what's up. That's what's up. All right, Seven. Before we close, were you about to say something or something?
Oh yeah, man. I just wanted to go with what Orby was saying, man. Chocolate Buddha, he be hitting them points too, man. Hey, listen, man. When it comes to all that corrupt shit in the government, right? They getting all this money off the wrong shit. Like he said, they all millionaires, but what they get these millions off of? They get millions off of kickbacks, off vaccines that they know poisonous that they forcing motherfuckers to take because they passing laws, and these motherfuckers getting all this little money. So my thing is this, and I know y'all not gonna even fuck with it, man, but I'm gonna say it anyway. This is what we should do, right? For the public, when y'all motherfucker run for office and y'all get in there, right? We should bring back public executions.
You had to go with goddamn it.
Hey, listen, man, hold on, man. Hit me out.
Was gonna
Hit me
die
out, man. Listen, bro. Because listen, how are you profiting off motherfuckers' demise, but you get to live a full, healthy life? Your grandkids taking care of now, nigga. You gotta die. Because you didn't push this poison on these people and you getting paid out the back door millions of dollars, bro. Killing people. That's not right for the people. You know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers need to die. They got to, man. Motherfuckers, somebody got to execute motherfuckers. Either we doing public executions or we should bring back paying for hitmen.
Look, I'm gonna do you one that might excite you and maybe it won't. We're not doing public executions, goddamn it.
Fuck.
But what I am gonna do, I'm gonna pull one of these numbers that Trump did. Everybody that has a record, I'm gonna expunge that shit on the first day.
What about taking all this money?
Everybody that's got a fucking felony that's been held back from a fucking job and shit, that shit's no longer gonna be a fucking issue. Every way that we can fucking make money, because again, I'm a capitalist at heart. I want to make money. We are gonna fucking find a way to put money in our pockets. Because if you think that fucking Saudi Arabia can have that oil and put money in their pockets of their citizens, and we can't with the resources that we've been fucking stealing, and we have, you've been sleeping at the wheel. America's got money. This has been the biggest motherfucking trick that they played over America that I got to witness with my own eyes. We got throwaway money. And when I get in there, the first thing I'm gonna do is not only point out, hey, look how much money we got. I'm gonna put money in the hands of the people. And guess what's gonna happen? That trickle down shit that wasn't work, that bubble up thing is really gonna work because everybody's gonna go out and buy houses, buy cars, spend money, and the economy is gonna fucking go into overdrive. Why? Because our economy is a capitalist economy. We work by spending money. Rich people don't have to spend money. That's why we fucking drowning. But when the have-nots have money to fucking not just pay bills, but to buy shit, you really gonna see America fucking roar back to life.
And you know, I heard all that, and I'm gonna say I was reading the comments right here, but just to kick it in reverse for a second, I've mentioned term limits before, and I don't think they want term limits, but we already know that Lindsey Graham, Mitch McConnell, Nancy Pelosi, a lot of them up in their 80s, they're just too fucking old. They're not can't relate to this day and time. So we would never see term limits, or I probably won't in my lifetime, but I am a big firm believer in the term limits. Like Greg Abbott, that motherfucker need to be up out of here because he didn't serve so many terms.
Hot Wheels.
Hot Wheels, yeah, that motherfucker need to go. But so term limits is something that I am, big on. And then just to touch on the Supreme Court, I thought Biden was going to pack it. I think he was waiting maybe for his second term or some shit like that.
This is why
he was scared the first term to do it, but I got you, Jason. But I thought he was going to pack it because they were talking about it, what he probably could do or whatever. But but that's neither here nor there. But what were you about to say, Jason?
You know, I like all the smoke, and I got a very unpopular opinion, and that is Biden was a polite Trump in the bullshit he was doing in office. He did
Can
it
I
for
say
the
something,
Democrats, and he did it to the left side, but he was just as egregious. He had judgments that judges told him do and don't, and he scoffed at them the same way Trump is, and everybody making a big deal about Trump. And just like I tell anybody that'll listen, Trump's a piece of shit. Biden is too. I close that out.
Jason, can I say something to you? Because you started that with you want all the smoke.
Go ahead.
I smoke with you? Because I
Come on.
agree with you. I fucks with that. This is why people get mad at me, but this is why I was fucking mad at him. All the shit he could have did, he politely did the same thing Trump was doing. He could have fucking changed that shit day one.
Yeah.
Day one. He didn't have to ask anybody nothing. All he had to do was say, Supreme Court judge, Supreme Court judge, okay, I got the balance. What the fuck did he do? Nothing.
Exactly.
He made a lot of promises, and you know what he said to make it make sense? Oh, I believe the system's going to work for us.
Look here.
A nice way of saying I ain't doing shit. I 100% back every single word you just said about that dude. 100%.
How many black people do we know individually, if we honest with ourselves, or if we want to say it so in public, that say that Bill Clinton was our first black president and how we respected him? He locked up more black people and changed the laws to hurt more black people, and then got on Arsenio Hall's show and played the saxophone, and you motherfuckers started tapping. He was horrible for us.
Yeah.
Hey, two things. He was a fun guy on Arsenio because he wore the glasses and stuff. He liked barbecue. But where did the term super predator come from?
Thank you.
Okay.
When the numbers went up for America having more people, not per capita, but more numbers of people locked up, when did that number start?
Thank you.
I'm just speaking facts. And again, I'm not somebody that's a Democrat turned Republican, because I've always been independent. I've been looking at the Republicans and the Democrats. And the one thing that I have to say about Democrats is they always been hiding their hand while doing the bullshit. And the worst time was this last time. And no matter what anybody says about Kamala Harris, she could have did bad, she could have did this. The thing that I saw, what I looked at, was that Biden motherfucking sat on his pride to the last minute and then threw her out to the wolves.
Yeah.
Right.
He didn't give a shit about her. He didn't give a shit about nobody until people said, Joe, wake up. You sleeping again. Well, I'm going to give it over to Kamala. I'm going to change. No, you didn't. You did that because George Clooney said, we're not giving you no more money, Sleepy Joe.
Let me tell you something. If you want to do yourself I love technology of today. I love the technology of today. If you want to do yourself a great justice in breaking the chains that they have on our mind, and like I was talking about earlier with our thought process, go back into the 70s, into the archives, and look at the videos of Joe Biden standing before Congress and what he was arguing about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Joe Biden just assumed spit in your face than he would shake your hand.
I got two things for you. when we talk about old Smoking Joe, because they like to say he was the people president. Um, Anita Hill. Look at what he said about Anita Hill, how he
Thank you.
treated her.
Thank you.
And then the second thing, who is his best friend in the Senate? That motherfucker. I'm not going to even say his name. Just look it up. Who's that motherfucker? Went to his funeral too.
Yeah.
Who's that motherfucker?
All
And
right, guys. Let me I had something I was gonna say. Oh well, we've covered that before about the Democrats hiding their hand and the Republicans just say fuck you and let you know where they stand right off the rip. Guys, I mean, you know, I always tell the viewers that's watching right now, hey, don't leave because you never know what you're gonna get right here on Wisdom Talk. Cause we may start left and we're gonna go right. You know, I just put the topic up there, but I like it for you guys to come on and just speak your mind and you answer that question, and then you go on off into a whole lot of other stuff. If you notice, sometimes I don't hardly say shit because it's not really about me. I enjoy what you guys are bringing to the table. Every now and then I may say fuck a motherfucker or some shit like that. So I ain't gonna kill up a motherfucker, but sometimes I know self know, hey, we gotta
Oh,
do
Seven gonna come up with somebody to kill.
yeah. But
Every
I will
time.
say this on Seven.
Somebody got to die before this shit over with.
It ain't me to think somebody got to die, man. It's the universe, man. It's how it gotta be.
So
Don't
God's
blame
will.
with that being said, guys, let me work the room, and so we get ready to close up out of here, and we'll go on and let Seven go on set us off with Seven. Seven, what closing comments you got?
Man, listen, man. I don't want to let the brothers down, man. I ain't even gonna say nothing about death, man. Listen, man. We just gotta be more wiser how we trust our enemies, man. Like we put too much trust in our enemies. You know, it used to be a time when we had remedies to heal ourselves when we listened to our elders and our grandparents. Like Jason said, man, if we had a society, it would be ran by the elders and the wise women. You know, we really need to get back to that. I know it's really hard to even motherfucking look upon women for wisdom these days because they're fed a bunch of fucking poison mentally, so they can't even be the type of women that they used to be, especially the newer generation of women. And it's unfortunately that a lot of the elder women are sick in the head too because of the information that has been fed to them over the years. So we can't look upon the women for the information and the guidance that they used to give us, because like a lot of people who might be into their masculine energy won't want to admit this, but everybody's first teacher was a woman, man. You know what I'm saying? And we all still look to women for a certain amount of wisdom and guidance. And it's just unfortunate that the women and a lot of our older elder men are actually sick in the head too. So it's kind of like we kind of lost, but with people like Chocolate Buddha and Jason, man, listen, man, we getting there, man. You can still see that it's still people with wisdom, and just wise, man, that's willing to give the knowledge freely. They're not going to charge you for it, and they wholehearted with it, bro. They're not gonna hold no punches at the same time. You know what I mean? Like they're not force feeding you anything. They're giving it to you, and they're gonna allow you to suffer and they come back, you know what I'm saying? And they're gonna give it to you again so you can learn, because that's just what fathers do, honestly, you know. And there's no difference between a good leader and a father, man. I really feel like that too. All parents are good leaders if they understand what a true parent is. Even if you don't have biological children, if you're a leader, you're a parent at heart. You know what I mean? Because you're leading with that type of parental compassion. So we really need to like just be looking out for our youth, giving our youth this wisdom, giving our elders wisdom, and man, we just need to stop trusting our enemies so much. That's just the bottom line to it.
Right, that's what's up. That's what's up. All right, appreciate that, Seven. Oh, Chocolate Buddha, what you got for us?
Hey man, I know we talk a lot about what's going on negative in the world, but I want to keep the balance right and talk about what's positive. And the most positive thing I got to talk about right now is Wizzo Talk. Shit, man. Since I've been a part of your thing, I've been connecting with some strong brothers and some sisters, and I'm loving what I'm seeing because the people out there, the so-called enemies, so-called can't get rights, they're self-destructing. That's why they're making all this noise. That's why they buzzing. But the thing that I'm loving, what's flourishing, is that we moving forward, man. We moving up. This thing that you got, this Wizzo Talk, is really educating people, and I'm getting to see people like Seven with his craft and stuff that he's doing. You know, we go at it all the time. We laugh and stuff, but I'm dead serious about some of the things that you bring into light, man.
Yeah.
We got to keep doing that stuff and supporting that stuff, man. I got my shirt. I'm gonna wear it the next time. Keep supporting what we doing, man. Jason, you know, we talked about some things you doing, bro. I really think that it's going to be a change agent once you put it out there, man. Uh, shit, this the shit that keeps me excited, man. And then with the chocolate Buddha, I'm gonna tell you now. I know we want the brothers to wear chocolate Buddha for everybody to wear. But put my shit on. You ain't got to go wear everybody else shit. Wear my shit. But I'm back in school again for my master's for innovation and entrepreneurship, and I'm not just getting.
Congratulations.
Thank you, brother. I'm not just doing that to have a degree on the wall, man. I'm doing that for everything that y'all working on. I want to be able to use that insight to help y'all level up in any way I can, because that's where my heart is. My heart's not in the politics, even though I'll get into it. My heart is in, upward mobility for us.
Right. That's
I
what's
want
up.
to take that education. We always talk about how the village needs to come back in and rally. This is how we do it, man. Um, we get together, we listen to each other, even if it's shit we don't want to hear. We decipher that shit to see how it's going to work to us. We go out into the world, we find out how we fit into the world, and we bring that shit back home to the village, man. And we fucking craft and we build and we create.
Yeah.
That's what's going to make us fucking stand out. Not trying to fucking convince our fucking enemies that they're wrong. We know they're wrong. We ain't got to fucking keep telling them they're wrong. Let them fucking be wrong. But what we need to do is make sure we understand us as a collective. We right. Even though we have a different way of being right, we're all right. So let's do our right thing. And I'm for it, brothers. I'm for it. Let's get it.
That's what's up. Two things before I move on to and I forgot to add 7, but 2 things for you, the chocolate Buddha. First thing is I like to tell us about your background, and the second thing I like you to tell me about it was the I saw your video today. Shit, what was it? I had it the rug. What was it? It was something about you was sitting behind the desk and talking about something. I can't move my damn phone. Shit.
Shit, I made the video and I don't even know what you're talking about, man.
I had it in my notes. It was called the run or the rug or something shit like that. I forgot what it was called. You was talking. I deleted it.
Office, the first rung or the rung?
The rung. I had it in my notes, but I deleted them already. The rung. But tell me about your back. Tell me about your backdrop first, and then tell me about the rung.
Okay, the backdrop real quick. It was a mural done by graffiti artists around 2014, 2015 in St. Louis, Missouri. Red Bull put on this thing called Paint St. Louis. So once a year, they invite graffiti artists to paint the levee, these murals all over the levee in St. Louis, Missouri. And I just took one of the pictures of many pictures that I took back there. And this brother made this mural that's behind me, and I just thought it was so dope. So I decided to put it back there because I hadn't seen it in a while. I got a couple more, and I'll try to put them up the next time. The rung, the video that you're talking about, part of my master's degree is we had to do a video showing our journey to our master's degree, and it's basically laying out my plan of action from day one to when I get my degree of what I'm going to put in place to start my business. So I already have a couple of businesses going on, but I'm going to focus on Chocolate Buddha and First Son Productions. That's my video productions. So I'm going to be doing training videos because that's what I do already. I do training for sexual harassment, sexual assault, and I also do short movies. So I'm actually going to put things in place to actually have a full-fledged financial income business where I can step away from the government and do my own thing. That's what my master's is on. That's what my thesis is going to be on at the end. But I had to do a video showing what my plan of action is going to be.
Gotcha.
So,
Okay.
I appreciate you checking that out. I didn't think somebody was going to look at that, man.
Yeah, I checked that. I appreciate it. All right, that's what's up. All right, let's come up here to JP and see what you got for us. Closing comments. What you got, Jake?
Closing comments, man. We got to find a way to, like I said, I increasingly as of late, I've gotten back and pulled back away from any kind of racial involvement, because, like I said, I just finally settled into the fact that I need, at this point, I need action out of these allies, white allies that say that they support us and they support what we're trying to get done, and they certain things are wrong. That's just wrong. Okay, start showing it, because I feel like that's the only voice that's going to be heard, and it's become my reality. But when I get invited to speak about things, then I speak about it. Other than that, you always put together a good panel, man. I enjoy the time that we get to interact with one another about different things, and I love when it's not just everybody on the same page. We can go back and forth and have different opinions. Prescott, he ain't here to defend himself, but he got a little hot with me earlier. I like that, man. I like that smoke like that, right? But it's because, like I say all the time, man, when we put emotion and we put passion into certain things, and somebody call you on it, man, you sometimes you got to understand how to stay logical and articulate what it is that you're saying. And that's all I'm looking for. Like I said, I expect the same from anybody that's coming at me about any of my own opinions, and because I have a lot of them. But I really appreciate, man, what you're doing for the community. And by the community in this aspect, I'm talking about the community of us, the community of black men, the community of black men that's trying to give back to our own communities individually and collectively. And I appreciate being here as usual. Anytime I'm available, hit me up.
Yeah, no doubt. And I was surprised when Prescott said he wanted to come on that racial deal. I was like, damn, okay, that's what's up, And usually I try to get a mixed group of people to come on, but you guys have, those of us that had podcasts before know that sometimes it's a challenge, and I'm going through that. I'm sending out messages and sending messages. Yeah. And that's why you always hear me say that to my viewers that's watching, if you like to be a guest on the show, hit me up. Hit me up on Paul Wizard on Facebook. Send me a message. We'll get you on the show, because come on and hold your ground and speak and be heard. And I hope I don't have to sound the gavel like Seven was asking for the gavel earlier, but I got the gavel. I thought I was going to have to hit that.
Seven said, "Where the gavel at? Where the
Throw it in the goddamn court."
but guys, every single time we come on, it's a good conversation. That's why I always tell my viewers, don't leave. Get your popcorn, sit on down. Wizzo Talk coming on, because I'm telling you, you're going to learn a lot. You're going to hear a lot. You're going to agree with a lot. You're going to disagree with a lot. But Chocolate Buddha always say, hey, it's good that we have those conversations. And in the end, we can just go and walk on the way and be lucky, because, it wasn't no hard feelings that you had against Prescott. But, hey, you're going to hold your ground. You're going to put it on out there, and we're going to make it do what it do.
Hey, and I got to say this, man, again, a shout out to Jason and Prescott, because number one, Jason never gonna pull a punch. That's just not Jason. But Prescott didn't do the traditional white boy thing, which is this is why I can't be in here. He stood his ground.
He stood there.
He listened, and that's why I told him. I said, sometimes you got to take that ass whooping and then listen and listen. Right. He stayed for the long haul, and then he stayed after that. And for all you viewers out there, especially y'all that look like Prescott, bring your ass.
That's right.
Bring your ass, because this is how we move forward. Stop saying that you're going to be an ally, you with us, but you scared to have a conversation.
Yeah.
Right.
You want to see how it's done, play this again, and watch how Jason Prescott got down, and watch what happened after. That's what your ass need to do.
Yeah. And he stayed a lot longer.
Respect. He got mad respect from me, because, again, even though I'm not attacking, and I wasn't attacking him at the time, and I wouldn't attack anybody on the panel, I had something strong to say, and it hit him hard, and he stood there, and he stood there on his two feet, and he handled it like a man, and I appreciate it. I appreciate his response. Again, my question to him was rhetorical. I didn't need him to prove to me anything, but because it hit him and it kind of hit that personal spot, he got a little fired up. But like I said, I like that. I like all of that.
And
usually, I appreciate it. He's a man.
Yeah, usually he don't use any curse words or say that you hit the button. He didn't hit it. He dropped two up this time.
What's that button?
He said, "Oh, I said something." I'm like, yeah, my funny ass said something.
Yeah, you got a little fired up. I like that. I like it.
Yeah. He's cool. He's been on a couple of times on Wisdom Talk before, and you guys check him out. Those of you that I know, Jason, you follow sports, so y'all check him on out. On that. But before we get out here, guys, I'm just sharing something with you. I was up in Iowa visiting my son, and me and my fiance went up there to visit him for a few days. We'd never been up there before, and to visit him. He's a football coach up there at Clark, and he showed us a good time, man. Him and his fiance, his girlfriend out, they hadn't asked yet or whatever, but and I didn't realize there was so many damn hills in Iowa. Everywhere we went, we was up and going up and down hills. And we wake up in the morning. It was probably it was 5:30, but it was looking like it was 9 in the morning. Temperature was cool. I think it didn't get over 70. So we really did enjoy it. And then I'll leave this here on the last note. My fiance went out there. She was fishing. She wasn't gonna put that worm on that hook. She'll put this worm on the hook, no goddamn it. But anyway, so we just did a lot of things. She won money. My son told her how to sports bet, and she won some money sports bet, and he called her. He won 900 something on the Nuggets and somebody else. We betted on boxing, and so we just had a good time up there with my son, and him and his girlfriend. They took us out to eat, and they paid for our dinner sometimes, and then we paid. But I'm really proud of my kids that and I just wanted to share that. My oldest son, he's doing good. My youngest daughter, she just had something great happen. I want to put it out there yet. I'll wait. But I'm glad that they kind of spread out, so that give me a chance to go visit them, and I'll always out. But with that being said, guys, you already know I appreciate you guys to the fullest. Appreciate you guys coming on Wisdom Talk and taking the time to come on out here and share and agree and disagree and educate some of the people that's out there. And to the viewers that are still watching now, hey, I appreciate y'all comments, and hopefully y'all will come on Wisdom Talk, and we'll make sure that a few of the guests don't chop no heads off. If they do, they love you. And we'll make sure that one of them won't kill you. And he ain't no killer, but don't push him. Guys, with that being said, I'm up out of here. This your boy